Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Crypto Talk Now. Glad to be here with you tonight on this wonderful Saturday night. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying your weekend. So, with that said, before we kick it into the comments, we have, for instance, some particular news that we're going to get into tonight. And of course, everything you saw tagged tonight will be featured on tonight's broadcast, such as Quant, XRP, XLM, XDC, ALBT, LCX, HBAR, Casper, Cypherium, and even Jasmine. Actually, I should state there won't be any particular Casper tonight. That was the one that was left out. But nonetheless, glad to be able to bring it to you guys. I'll just give you the quick gist. I didn't see any particular big update in regards to the V2 for ALBT. So I thought I'd go ahead and get that out of the way. I have been checking that quite frequently, and I didn't see anything in regards to that. But we do have quite the news lineup for you. Let's go ahead and kick it into the comments and welcome some of our community members. Start off with Zamir Khan, who is waving. Glad to have you, Zamir. Nice looking vehicle we got there. And as Larry would say, you are the first comment of the day. You have congratulations. You want absolutely nothing. But in the future, maybe that will change. Anyway, it was the old tradition we used to have. Glenn Allen, I have gone ahead and followed you back. States, good evening and happy Saturday. Well, happy Saturday to you too, Glenn. Thank you for being here. Good evening, Max, and everyone in the chat. Have you looked into BRL? The dev is Steve at Rocket Crypto, the one and only that informed us about SHIB and took Saitama to the moon. Check it out. That is a very good point. I mean, he himself does have an influence, and he's very talented. It is on my particular list, and I'm just kind of double checking that list. Yep, it is on that list. So thank you for that. Rayan states, hello to you, my people, CTN. My God, what is going on with crypto? He states, something not right in crypto 2023. We still have confusion, man. This thing is going to be, hold on, gonna be ending soon, or are we gonna go fishing? I don't know. We'll see. Stevie says hello to all. Stevie Rose, if I'm not mistaken. Good to see you, Stevie. Brian Dowie's in the house. Good to have you here, Brian. Crypto McDizzle, aka Crypto Mike. Venom, Hemi. Been a while since I've seen you. Hi, Max. Yes, Casper, Cypherium. Yes, sir. When Hellcat bags are packed. It's a very good point. Let me just turn this thing off real quick. It's just a notification. Sorry about that. And let me see. Let me get into it. We have Coochie Boy. What's up, Max, the CTM fam? Yep. Thank you for being here, Coochie Boy. Stump Riders in the house. All right. Let me see if I forgot anybody. Sobo's in the house. Good to have you here, Sobo. Good to see you as always. Yeah, what's happening with ALBT? Well, there's no particular updates. Like I went there earlier and there was nothing yet. So maybe they're going to delay it until next week. I was thinking that it was going to come out already by now, but clearly it's not. Who knows? Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe they just need a few extra days to make sure everything is just right. You never know. And there could also be issues with onboarding the V2 to exchanges. We never know. River is in the house. Thanks for being here, River. And on top of that, hold on a second. Sorry about that. All right. We also have this statement. Crypto McDizzle, faux shizzle, monizzle, faux show. He states, they just shot down an cylindrical object over Canada that was over Alaska, and now shut down air traffic over Montana right now. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, some weird stuff is going on. Really weird. All right. Watermelon Crypto Sugar High. Good evening, Max, the CTM family. Good to see you, man. Glad to have you here. And let's welcome a few more guys. This guy's got a nice looking cutlass. Or if that's not a cutlass, then I think we talked about this before. Yeah, I remember you. Jesse Thomas, how you doing, Max? You missed the channel. Been in the islands for a while. Oh, well, you probably also missed your nice looking ride you got there too. But welcome back. XXI Gaming is in the house, and Tim Shea's probably like, "What the heck? Hey, you freaking skipped me." Well, no, I didn't. I came back. So XXI and Tim Shea is in the house. Good to see you both. And let's see here. ALBT is waiting for the audit to be done. That's good. See? Tim Shea is on top of it. Crypto Talk Now. Sideline report. Tim Shea. All right. Sobo. Saw something that Kramer said Quant will never see a 10K. Well, that's very bullish in itself, isn't it? Isn't it? So I'm actually glad he said it. So that tells me, wow, things are going to look really, really good for the likes of Quant. So somebody please share that before I can pin it to my Twitter profile. That's the way I look at it. You guys want to hear something interesting? I'll tell you something interesting. You want to know something interesting, man? I don't know if Cool Cat Crypto's here, but I'll tell him something. And that is basically last night, this guy, Mr. Maximilian, he went on a tangent last night, man. Yeah, guess what I did? I actually took a little bit of time because I said to myself, I have this itch that needs to be scratched. And I actually decided to research. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. BSV. A little bit. Yeah, I did a little bit. You know what? Guess what? I'm actually impressed with it. Yes. And it is incredibly fast. 100,000 TPS. So all these statements he was making, pretty impressive. My thing is, I just wish it would trend more. You know what I mean? But as far as the technology, it's very, very impressive. It's basically Bitcoin, but with scalability, right? 100,000 TPS. And they got this new thing in regards to the whole thing with like actually trying to compete with the likes of MasterCard or Visa, I should say. I was just, going off a lot of what I saw like on the surface, but there's something to be said about it. And then I was also looking at the chart. We have, for instance, these 2-year cycles. So, for instance, Bitcoin has like 4-year cycles. I was looking at BSV; they have like 2-year cycles. And I'm just saying, I'm not trying to get everybody like, "Oh my God, what the hell, Max? You're all of a sudden BSV." Just hear me out. If you look at the particular chart, you can see that there's been a lot of sideways consolidation. I'm just saying, I think when a lot of things could very well pop off here in 2023, that might be one of them. But I'm also looking at the return on investment. I mean, unless it goes higher than the previous all-time highs for BSV, I mean, there's money being made. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're sitting around $40 and so on. I'm just looking for the perspective. Am I going to put, I don't know, $4,000 into BSV when I put $4,000 into some of these other ones? But there is definitely money to be made there. There's no doubt about it. And they do have some really impressive technology. It's totally the original vision, just like it says, of what Satoshi Nakamoto did. By the way, there's a particular developer, I guess, a part of the team. I think his name is Craig Wright, if I'm not mistaken. He claims to be Satoshi. Who knows? But yeah, I was reading about it, and then as I was reading more through it, I was like, this is actually pretty interesting. And I said to myself, there might be something here. Does that mean I start doing deep dives all the time into BSV? No, but I am very impressed with it. I'll state that much. Shout out to Triple C. All right. Rand states, I ate foot-long Italian bread Subway. I'm about to explode. From Subway? I mean, if you ate, for instance, Taco Bell, I can understand you about ready to explode. But Subway? What were you eating from that? I know he says just a joke, but I mean, you must have been eating like the meatball marinara or something. I don't know. All right, let's go further down. Did you get on that WTK Max up 32% today? No, I did not get on it. There's other ones I'm looking to get on. No offense to it or anything. Basically looking to get into Casper still. Almost pulled the trigger on that last night. And there's some other ones I'm really, really like those are my focus. But shout out to you if you're doing really well in your WTK. All right, let's go further down. What the heck was that? Huh. A long time ago, I had a water leak about 10 years ago. And my uncle came and he had to reroute the water in this house. So every time somebody turns on the hot water, you hear the water flex in the wall. It's kind of weird. Anyway. But anyway, that's all right. Let's go further down. I see, I think Coochie Boy. Did I get a chance to welcome Coochie Boy? If I didn't, welcome Coochie Boy. Let's get into the news here in just a bit. Kev Cleveland is in the house. I'd like to welcome you back, Kev. Boomer F at Sooners in the house. Thank you for being here, Mr. Boomer F at Sooner. And let me see. Comment about BSV. Tim Shea. BSV is great stuff. It is fast and is expensive or inexpensive. Maybe that's what you're trying to say. All right. Yeah, it's definitely significantly cheaper from when I also read too. All right. How about this? Crypto McDizzle says my CELR and Bone been good today. That's good. Stevie states Tau is the new Bitcoin with AI into it. Interesting. There's the lovely Brittany in the house. She states happy Saturday. Cool. Like your new custom avatar. Looks pretty good. Stevie, Crypto Talk and the UFC. You kind of watching both simultaneously? Right on. Well, I haven't reminded you guys, so I'm going to do it right now. Please smash that like button. Smash it so hard that you become, you basically channel in your inner crypto Hulk, and you smash it so hard that a ton of, just hear me out, a ton of back hair, just boom, fur everywhere, and you're ready to go. All right. That's what it's all about, according to, Mr. Mike Cornwell, who states he has enough fur there to make a mink coat, or enough fur to start the second wave of the fur trade dating back to the 1800s, or in this case, enough fur there to cause controversy for the PETA Foundation. All right, back to the real news. And that is, the heck is flying all over Independence Day movie. Yeah, it's crazy. It does seem like it's nuts. Max, this is the question, please. Please deep dive. Why is SEC they want to destroy crypto? Well, it's funny that you actually mentioned that. So when you get to the XRP segment, you're going to see a specific interview with Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple that addresses specifically why they are being targeted by the SEC and his thoughts and so on. Now we know some of this, but it gets into that specific question. BRL is up in this thing, says Whale. All right, well, thank you very much for that. Let's go ahead and highlight that. Actually, I want to welcome this guy back. I haven't seen you in a long time. What's up, Max from Bull Run Ready? Good to see you, man. Glad to see an old familiar face. Thanks for being here. And it's just CEX, not DeFi. All right, let's go ahead and highlight that. Let's jump into the news. About 14 minutes into the show. Thanks for being here tonight. Let's kick it in to this particular Forbes article in regards to quant. We just have a little bit tonight in regards to quant for you guys. Nothing too drawn out or anything like that, but not saying that, we drown out anything with quant anyway. But here it is. This was from Just a Tech Guy. We do share some of his particular tweets and so on. He states, probably they are tweeting about things they aren't involved with, right? Look at this, for instance, right? For all the people are saying, it's just strictly Ripple and nothing else, Max. You don't know what you're talking about. It's all malarkey. Here we go. Check out this particular quote, right? So it states, MasterCard is currently working with banks and merchants to tokenize a variety of assets, including deposits, which will be tracked on multiple public and private blockchains. Now, before we drew the particular, connection to, everybody was like focusing on Visa with Ripple, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I came out with a particular recorded video talking about, XRP XLM Cello, right? We had to include Cello. Then we had this other particular recorded video about the Bank of International Settlements, as well as the HM Treasury, and how, there was work being done with the likes of even Quant, right? And of course, there's one guy, and there's other people who will say, no, it's just strictly Ripple and so on. But of course, we really drew those connections beforehand for many months now. Now, instead of just Visa, now you see this with the likes of MasterCard. What is that all about? Why should it matter to you? Why should we even bring it up on the show? Well, let's talk about it. So, if anything, I'm going to show you this. And it comes up to this particular article. And if anything, this will definitely pound it home that much more for people saying there's no quant connection. Because guess what, guys? There definitely is. So it states, quote, many of the world's biggest financial institutions are still banking on the underlying tech as the best way to build confidence with customers and with one another. Now, this originally came from Forbes. And look at the timestamp, right? Pretty recent, right? As of literally today. How MasterCard, Goldman Sachs, and other quote-unquote TradeFi titans are using a blockchain. As we know, crypto is in crisis, but many of the world's biggest financial institutions are still banking on the underlying tech as the best way to build confidence, which is that. And that is this right here. Let's blow it up. And if anything, I want you guys to basically see this. And now this is coming up because they're being stupid. All right, so give me a second. Maybe I just take a screenshot real quick. God, it was fine earlier, and now I have awoken the beast. It's all getting all irritated. So let me just do a print screen real quick. All right, let me see. Did I get it just in time? Let me see if I did. All right, so bear with me. I'm going to have to read some of this off of my print screen. I did get it just in time. So Michael Maybach, basically, he's the chief executive of MasterCard. Let me see if I can actually just share this on my own local end real quick. I do apologize. The stupid ad blocker thing. I was fine earlier, and then they want to ruin. Forbes wants to ruin our show. All right. Well, you could just buy a Forbes account, Max. Yeah, true. Maybe, Forbes has a tumor. It's not a tumor. All right. Give me just a second. I'm going to share this in another way for you can see this a lot better. Present, share screen real quick. Entire screen. Yes, the entire screen, Maximus. I need to see everything. All right. Hopefully you guys see this. Hold on a second. Yeah, I think you do, but let me just double check. Yep, you do. All right, this is from me taking a screenshot, right? Yeah, I'm being innovative. Take that, you Forbes. All right. So it states, first, there were cars using ISO 8583, which is ISO numbers refer to, of course, international standards, messaging technology, which is 50 years old. Then real-time payments became real with ISO 222, and then came blockchain. And we said, okay, what would that solve? There is a whole list of real-life problems out there that blockchain can solve. In late January, the 55-year-old Maybach, who's the guy that's in this particular Forbes article that they don't want us to see unless we subscribe, told analysts and shareholders that his company has surpassed the $2 billion tokenized transactions per month, which is up 38% in a year, and that MasterCard was enabling digital payments in 110 countries. The big benefit, less fraud. And that is the key thing, less fraud, right? Because if anything, you can, if you're having tokenized assets and it's tied to blockchain technology, it's not all about speed, right? It's also about some of the things you see right here. It says, today, tokenization at MasterCard means replacing the 16-digit number with your plastic credit card. There's a little bit more in regards to all this. But what I want to point out is the key highlight. That MasterCard was enabling digital payments in 110 countries, is up 38%. And the big benefit is just that, less fraud because of blockchain technology. Now, there's this whole thing about, how quant was tied into this. It got chopped off. But I I think it's pretty huge. And if anything, we'll have a particular update in regards to this. Again, I do apologize for it being chopped off. We'll get into a little bit more about this, but it is significant because now you are understanding that it's not just Visa. Of course, MasterCard is a big player and always has been. You know, when people think of the likes of Visa, you really throw in MasterCard. So, again, we'll try to take more of a deeper dive into this. Hopefully, I can get a different outlet next time. I'll have to remember that Forbes gets ticked off after a while. It was really weird. I was like literally at least 15 or 20 minutes into it, and then boom, all of a sudden it gets irritated. So maybe it took that much time to recognize my ad blocker. I don't know where the case be, but it's too bad. All right. I want to show you guys this. This is kind of an update in regards to some of our particular quant charts. This won't get blocked because it comes from Twitter. And this comes from Anava Quanfi. I am following this particular person. It says quant is unlocking the power of DLTs for mass adoption. We know that. Any-to-any interconnectivity, the network effect of quant will be monumental. This is a nice particular breakdown because this one, even though it's similar to the others, it's just, again, a different outline. But if anything, I went ahead and retweeted this. That way people can see it. But look at this. So obviously you have the connection to ISO standards and so on, right? This is ISO TC 307. They wrote this particular standard back in 2014. I believe got implemented in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. You have, for instance, the connection to not just what we have with APIs, but you have that connection you have for academic research forums and so on, right? You know, some big names like the Blockchain Consortium, or what Gilbert Verdian is part of, the Digital Pound Foundation. Look at some of these other ones, though. Technology companies taking quants technology to their clients, without their clients having a full understanding of what all this interoperability really is. Fujitsu, IBM, Intel, Oracle. The Oracle connection is huge, right? We're always talking about that. But on top of that, you have 5G digital telecommunication. I'm not a big fan of Comcast, but that's a big name. Samsung, obviously Cisco's huge. You know, I cannot enter a proper data center without seeing a giant Cisco switch or servers, you name it, right? On top of that, how about trade finance? We're always referring to XDC for the trade sector, and they're huge, right? But there's some other ones here other than XDC, right? DTCC, Marco Polo, WeTrade, Crowds. On top of that, we're talking about APIs when it comes to quant. They really stand out, right? So you have Zapier, and you even have, for instance, decentralized finance capital markets, LCX, ALBT, Chainlink. How about this, for instance? The CBDC connections. We already basically talked about numerous times, and I still can't believe how I see people want to state that there is no CBDC connection for the quant. Are you kidding? Have you not done any research? The Bank of England, the Bank of International Settlements, we literally done a few deep dives in regards to some of these. LAC chain, that really stands out because if anything, quant was doing some of these CBDCs long before anybody else was, dating back to what? Last March. The digital euro, public blockchains, some of the popular ones. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, Algo, BNB, IOTA, Cardano. How about the R3 enterprise blockchain use? You have Hyperledger, R3 Corda, Oracle, Ripple, XLM. It's pretty big. All right. I want to show you guys just a little bit more in regards to all this. And that is this particular interview with Gilbert Verdian. Shout out to Quant Papa, of course, who shared this. And if anything, look at what it says. Unlock the full potential of AI. A lot of you guys have been focusing a lot about AI lately. Singularity, that's doing well. AI is definitely trending. Doesn't necessarily matter if it's Chat GPT and so on. AI is definitely trending. So it says, unlock the full potential of AI with Quant over Ledger Network. Interconnect all AI tokens and networks for maximum impact. Don't just ride the AI hype, lead it. Quant. Interconnect AI? Really? Even AI? Well, it's 2 minutes. Listen to this real quick. we'll just kick it back into the comments. Thanks for being here tonight at Crypto Talk Now. Please hit that like if you haven't done so already. And here we go.
Connect AI, it was mentioned with Ocean. AI has a really good convergence with blockchain, and we can allow that across all the chains.
What it's about is how do we interconnect using a secure channel to the disparate data sources to allow AI and big data to flourish. And we're quite excited with what can happen. And we've got applied use cases we're already exploring in government, in aerospace, in healthcare as well, which we've got a couple of RFIs that we've been working on.
So and it can be used for hundreds and hundreds of use cases around AI, data. If you want to do an MDAP on payments, if you want to do an MDAP as an exchange, anything computes, if you want to create like an AWS equivalent on the Overledger network, all of this is possible. So QNT has just become that pure utility token that can be used for everything.
And then scale that up to a city. So imagine you're in a city and you're in a car, and that car knows that it's you. It tells the next car that I'm carrying this passenger, I need to go because there's an emergency, and every car gets out of the way so you can get to the hospital quicker. So we're just at the beginning of where we're heading with this exciting time, because machines will be able to communicate with machines, and for everyone to communicate, you need interoperability. I mean, why should a Tesla not be able to talk to a Mercedes autonomous vehicle to turn left? That's where we are today. But what we're allowing is any type of device to talk to any other type of device, to have true 5G cities. To
QNT token is at the core of everything that we're doing. Hundreds and hundreds of use cases.
Safely interconnect big data sources to a decentralized world, but have interoperability, because if you're using, let's just say, imaging data from healthcare in one blockchain, and then using an EMR, that's a traditional database, it's just SQL, and then using something else on the third party, how do you get them to talk to each other? It's quite difficult. And how do you get them to talk together securely?
All right, and basically, to answer Kuchu Boy's question, there definitely will be a quiz at the very end. It is multiple choice, and then on top of that, after you have turned in that particular assignment, we are going to have a pop quiz on top of that. I expect at least 2 to 3 sentences, and please cite your work in APA format. Thanks for joining us here tonight. And I'm kidding, we're not going to do it. All right. Let's see what else we got here tonight in the house. Kicking it back into the comments. But yeah, shout out to Quan Papa. That was very well put together. I like how he does that. Anyway, so we have everybody saying what's up to Bull Run Ready. Thank you for that. Quant is the beast. Yeah, Salamander's in the house. Well, that's cool. Gary Gensler's a clown. Good to see you, Salamander. Thank you for being here tonight. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody's chat or anything like that. You guys got the algorithm going with the emojis. Thank you for doing that. Quant is the best. But yes, good to see Salamander. 24 likes, 36 peeps. Hold on a second. I guess we're now to 32 likes. That's cool. Glenn Allen states, the SEC is halting staking in the exchanges, not DeFi projects. Look how many exchanges have been getting crushed. Very true. Brian Dowie saying hello to Larry. You can't give Larry crap anymore. He finally has some XRP, and he even has some quant. All right. Gary Gensler's not helping the small retailer. No, he's not. All he's doing is helping his small. Never mind. Not going to go there. All right, Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. So the automatic staking I got going on Coinbase for Algo is going away, I imagine. Or you maybe want to just double check and see if they just remove that altogether. But that is a good point. All right. Glenn Allen states, why stake on these platforms? Plus, they are giving out native tokens as rewards. BRL gives out USDC rewards and not native tokens. Huh. Okay. I guess another positive catalyst for BRL. Somebody's done their research. That's cool to see. But yes, welcome again, Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. I never could say it like Larry. Welcome, Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. All right. McDizzle. Max, Twitter tagged you on XRP. Twitter. Okay. Let me check that out. Eva Savaju, do you think aliens are coming to get our Bitcoin? I don't know. Here's the thing, all right? Can somebody answer this for me? All right, she's a beautiful, drop dead gorgeous woman, right? That's a given. I'm just saying, is this person really like the messages we're getting? Is it really from her, or is it like it's a model and somebody else is typing everything on the tweets, right? For crypto. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Or when she does an interview or something like that, she's being told what to say. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not fudding the lady. I like to get some clarity. All right. All right. So let me go ahead and get into that. My bad. Got kind of distracted by the beautiful Eva. Let's see here. Yeah, that kind of distracted me. Oh boy, this is a big one. That's what she said, Max. All right, stop. All right, that's bad. That's horrible. All right. Yeah, let's not. Max is not even here, and Maximus is busting out with this stuff. It's not good. Bad Maximus. Bad. All right. Here we go. Shout out to Mike Cornwell, the one and only, right? Basically shows right here. Hold on. Yeah. Check this out, Max. Ripple cited as crypto assets as a bridge currency in central banking report. Funny how we have this. Another guy who pointed out as Ripple being a bridge currency, or XRP, I should say, was Gary Gensler, Mr. Anti-Ripple. Anyway, all right, let's blow this up. New forms of cross-border and cross-currency settlement. Let me just double check that this is actually being shared. Yeah, it is. It says entry of new players and reaction of incumbents, fintech payment service providers reinventing remittance, TransferWise, Revolut, Les Macheries, alternative connectivity services. All right. Ripple Connect, response by Swift with GPI, use of crypto assets as a bridge currency. Ooh, wow, this is the hot, juicy stuff. Ripple liquidity, alternatives based on DLT, CLS net, settlement assets as proxy for CBDC, so on and so forth that you see here. How about this? It could also be combined with CBDC, tiered CBDC. Yeah, a bridge currency in central banking report. Ripple was cited. Very, very cool. Shout out to Mike Cornwell, doing it big. All right, let's kick it back into the comments. Hold on a second. All right. Is that you in the pic? I don't know who he's referring to. Max is it then? Max is it? What did I do? We're playing tag? Oh, because we're doing crypto Twitter tagging? I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now. I was at 7:19. It's 7:33, so I'm way behind. All right. You were there at the age when it was taken. I'm a few years older now, Rand. Huh. Damn, sorry. I'm just curious. Huh. No problem. I'm totally missing out on something here. There was an interesting conversation that happened between the one and only Tim Shea and the one and only Rand. And I don't know what it is, but it's very interesting. Oh, Rand changed his avatar. Huh. Interesting. Cool. Looks pretty good, man. No homo, but looks pretty good. All right. Let me see where we're at. I think I'm close. Yes, we want to do that to Gary Gensler. NGN, the network. I think this is the guy from the other day, if I'm not mistaken. But all right. Stevie states, Quant will always make it in the UK when Gilbert and the Prime Minister used to work together and are best friends. That's a very good point. Crypto Professor Max, tell me there will not be a quiz at the end, please. I already mentioned that. There definitely will be. No, I'm kidding. There's not. But in the future, like we already tested this, by the way, you're like, why do you keep teasing this, Max? Well, because you need to have testing. So I did test it out with Larry and his nephew, And we actually said, you know what, this is fun. Legitimately, it was fun, and you guys are gonna like it. But the main thing is, I want to be able to have it where you guys can use the app, have the buzzer or whatever the heck it is, and answer correctly. And I have to smush the lettering down for it fits, and I can't do that yet. So, but it's nice. It's got sounds. It's got all sorts of stuff. There's some funny ones on there, you know. Does anyone like Breaking Bad TV? I love Breaking Bad. That's one of the greatest television shows ever. I mean, it's pretty depressing, but as far as like keeping you engaged, if you never like that first time into Breaking Bad was amazing. Like it's just like you did not know what to expect ever. That's these writers that made that show, was it Vince Gilligan and what's the other guy's name? Anyway, absolutely genius when it comes to writing the script of that show. It just kept you engaged. You would never expect what was to happen in that show. I also like the spinoff, Better Call Saul. I like the movie El Camino. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. All right, Bull Run Ready. Thinking about picking up the graph. I'll state this. It's like I said it before. It's like the Google of crypto. Really, it is. So I came into the graph roughly first or second week of November. I think it was like November 9th. I came in at roughly 6 cents. And it's really treated me well. I think I'm up like close to 200%, something like that. I wish I would have got more at the time, but I split it up between that and audio. And I'm also doing really great on my audio. So, yeah, the graph is great. Been into GRT for 2 years now, though. Yeah, you came at the wrong time then. Still getting at the bottom. But, I think a lot of us done that. I've done that, right? Like, I'm even guilty of not coming into bottom on a few things, right? My ADA. My Polygon. Anyway, going to be very good, GRT. Yeah, the thing was, the last couple of years, it's just been kind of sitting dead. Right? I would agree with that. But it's what they have been building in the meantime and how they're attracting more developers. That's the key thing. All right, going to be very good, GRT. Is this loud? Is this loud? I don't know what's going on. All right, Coochie Boy, awesome. On that bag, a BRL. Hello, Hoover the Flood Killer. Hello from Sweden. Welcome back. All right, Coochie Boy. I figured I can pay over $1 for it. I could at least pay a couple cents for it. All right. Ray and Breaking Bad is fire. Yeah, it is. It's awesome. It's an absolutely awesome show. Hit the like button for Max. Thank you very much. Sometimes I feel like I'm a lucky person because Quant is not only crypto, it's like Amazon, Google, and WhatsApp and Facebook. Okay, good point. Let me go further down. You got a small bag as support for the community. All right. Well, thanks, Coochie Boy. Tim Shea, Bull Run ready. Same here. Did you get any of the keys? Talking about MMI. All right. Papa Mex is in the house. He says Gary Gensler, aka Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Yes. Mr. Papa Mex, tear down this wall, Smithers. All right, not really. Reagan and Mr. Burns. I know, that was kind of weird. All right, let me welcome. Oh, it's a robot. Cool. Let me welcome Crypto Puppet. Always good to see Crypto Puppet. Crypto Puppet, there is a particular character. I can't remember which show it's from, but I'm going to find out. You look exactly like a particular person from a show that I used to watch, and it's bugging me based on your avatar. It's really bugging me. I cannot pinpoint who it is, but you look exactly like the guy. And it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But welcome, Crypto Puppet. Good to see you. Is it a good time to get to Jasmine with their market cap? Well, let's double check Jasmine real quick. Since we're on that particular subject. So we have some Jasmine coverage we're going to get into later. 1 second. Share this. Jasmine. So here is Jasmine. This is about roughly what I paid for it, right? Maybe a little bit higher than my entry point. I think I came in at entry point roughly around this, slightly lower. It was in this, the 0.006 range. Some of you guys came in a lot lower at 2. Congratulations to you. I would not buy on a green candle. That's just me. I would wait for a pullback because there definitely will be one. I don't think this is going to be a case kind of like, LCX where maybe you feel as though like, dang, man, I did miss that wave. Now you need some kind of crazy crypto mini black swan event to pull this back. I don't think that's the case. I would wait for this to pull back. If it was me, all right, you got to do what you got to do. If you want to buy on a green candle, that's your choice. That's just something I don't like doing. I've rarely had an instance where buying on a green candle is a good thing. I think the only instance I could think of at the time where that worked out of buying on a green candle, I know you guys are going to think this is weird. It was with Shinobi on day 2. So people who bought on green candles on that particular day, that's the only exception. That's a totally different project. All right. So yeah, here we go. That's where it's at. It's up 28%. So on. We'll talk a little bit more in regards to Jasmine. It's one of the ones that is really doing well for us on our coverage and subscribers and so on. It's literally like our top 3 performer as far as CTN recorded videos. It's Quant, Jasmine, and XLM currently speaking. A lot of demand for those 3. All right, let's kick it back into the comments just for a brief bit. Max, you checked out Axlar. Seems to be like Quant. Axlar. No, I have not checked out Axlar. Let me see if it's part of my particular list. Axlar. No, I'll have to add that to the list. This list is really kind of getting out of hand, though. I'm just being honest. But I do have on my list. Here's the updated list again. Grocery list. Oh, Max is just like all the other guys out there. He's just like all of them who say, yeah, I'll look into that, but he don't look into squat. I bet he doesn't even write down anything. Oh yeah, I do write down stuff. Here's my proof. Screenshots or didn't happen, right? Film crib equals Netflix killer. ArcBlock, ABT, MNW, Morpheus Network, Cypherium, Vector Space, EGLD, BRL, Instadap, SEEQ, Flare, VAIOT, Scallop, ALI, ORAI, and AI, WADS, Pay, aka WTK, KAS, Realm, GQ Galactic Quadrant, EWT, Cello, Ecomi, and Axlar. So, yeah. All right, cool. Let's go further down. Coochie Boy states, I think there's still money to be made on it, though. In regards to GRT, yeah. Bull Money, the keys to the NFTs are on sale. In regards to MMI, all right, let me go further down. The score is USA 3, UFO 0, bottom of the first. That's a good point. 3 days, Larry, for February 14th. Yeah, he's been trying to pull up some old info of every time he mentioned that, which is good. You think Austin was mentioning the keys? Okay. Ugly F in objects has 0. All right. At least no one's talking about Hunter's laptops and Epstein's list now. Yeah. All right. You're buying Alexar or is that how you say it? Axelar? At the moment, it's like buying Quant when it was $1. Really? Now that interests me in itself. Rafael Santos, good day, Sir Larry, Sir Max, and everyone here. Well, good to see you, Rafael. Thank you for being here. Selmo Flood is in the house. Good to see you. I want to say Mr. Flood, but in reality, you're not Mr. Flood. You know, you're Selmo Flood. Good to see you, Selmo. Rafael Santos here at my work now. Good to see you again, guys. Cool. And with the time difference, I did this one time. I said, what is the time in the Philippines when the show's going on? And when it starts, it's roughly 10 a.m. So we're about 44 minutes into the show. So I imagine it's probably like 10:44 a.m. Philippines time. All right, Stevie. Richie Sunak, father-in-law, is owner of Indian computer tech company Infosys. Quant will be massive in India. That's awesome. Very glad to hear it. With all these UFOs, we really need President Whitmore. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The first Independence Day movie, that was great. That sequel sucked. Sorry, it really did. And then, of course, they canceled. They were going to make a whole slew of those sequels, right? I'm glad they didn't because just the second one was just, it wasn't that good. All right. Chris Hatch, just joining. Any new info on ALBT drop? Not yet, unfortunately. As soon as we get that, we'll go ahead and share it with you guys. I was thinking that this would have been done by now, but it wasn't. But it is what it is. Stevie the OK, UFC, Crypto Puppet. This is me. But I believe buying 100,000 Jasmine is good before the FOMO begins when it hits 1 cent. Yeah, I have over 100,000. I got 108,000, I think it is. All right. Okay, no. Max is done is doing. Hold on. Oh no, Max is doing more deep dives. Oh no. Yeah, I don't know. Some people love them, some people don't. Some people just want to balance. I don't know. Can't please everybody. Zamunda. Oh, like Prince Hakeem, of Zamunda. I get it. Zamunda Crypto BRL is a great token, staked 75% of total supplies, 734,000 BRL, 482 NFTs, 1.2 million. You feel bullish? Interesting. Well, welcome. Glad to have you here, Mr. Zamunda Crypto. Michael Santiago, another guy I haven't seen. Welcome. Crypto Foreskin in the building. Oh, God. I don't know if about foreskin. Don't want to picture that, but welcome nonetheless. And this guy is either they ran out of masks in the Philippines, or you just looking gangster. Mr. Gangster. Mr. Joey Patrick Hisola. Maybe you're friends with Raphael. Greetings from the Philippines. Well, welcome, Joey. And if that's your look, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Stevie says Axelar is nothing like Quant. It's blockchain to blockchain, no overledger. Yeah, that doesn't sound like it would be like Quant then. But yeah, everybody's welcome each other. Fang is here. Everrise is nice. Michael Santiago, I'm a fan of your good work. Well, thanks, Michael. Appreciate that. All right, let's kick it back into the news, and we're going to jump into a little bit more of what we have here tonight. We talked a little bit about this guy from MasterCard. We talked a little bit about Quant. We're actually going to now get into the XRP stuff. Yeah, XRP. You know me, right? Well, check this out. If you're just tuning in, it's fun to do this, right? A lot of people have been messing around with ChatGPT. I myself, Larry's been, I guess, really messing around with it just for the heck of it, right? But look at this for yourself. It states that, for instance, ChatGPT confirms $589 XRP. Let's say $7 between friends, right? Now, a lot of times people, reference the whole thing with the Simpsons and so on. Is this really a thing? Well, ChatGPT may very well think so. Let's go ahead and play this. It's 8 seconds. There's no sound. I'm going to pause it in some key areas. So it states the value of each XRP, this of course comes from ChatGPT. The value of each XRP token required to replace all Nostro Vostro corresponding banking transactions valued at 32 trillion would depend on the demand for XRP and the total value of all Nostro and Vostro transactions. All right. We talk about this whole thing with Nostro Vostro quite a bit, right? Quite a few other channels do too. To determine the value of each XRP token, we can divide the total value of all Nostro and Vostro transactions by the number of XRP tokens in circulation. 32 trillion divided by 55 billion XRP tokens equals approximately $582.18 per XRP token. Wow. I think there's a little bit more in regards to this. So then it goes on with ChatGPT, and it states specifically, hold on, let me pause that. This calculation assumes that all Nostro and Vostro transactions could be replaced by XRP. And of course, this is what helps fuel the fire of a lot of content creators that are gung-ho XRP, right? Even myself, in regards to these crazy price predictions for XRP. So I'll read it again. This calculation assumes that all Nostro and Vostro transactions could be replaced by XRP, and that the demand for XRP would be sufficient to absorb the entire value of these transactions. In reality, there may be other factors that could impact the value of XRP, such as regulatory changes, market conditions, and overall sentiment towards the token. And, let's face it, they're just scratching the surface here, right? ODL is the main thing for me personally, but it's really interesting to even see the likes of ChatGPT mention this. $582.18 per XRP. Sign me up. In fact, I already been signed up with XRP for quite a while, so have many of you guys, right? Pretty cool. All right. Yeah, like it says at the end, the calculation assumes. All right, we got a little bit more XRP coverage for you tonight. here it is, the one and only CEO. I should say the one and only CEO, but the one and only CEO, or the one and only Brad Garlinghouse, right? Ripple CEO. This gets brought up quite a bit. I think at the beginning of the show, somebody asked about it. I don't know if it was Stevie Rose, somebody like that. I can't remember who it was. Shout out to that person. So a lot of times we focus, I should say a lot of times, most of the time, right? We follow this whole case with Ripple. Significant. We all want a big win for Ripple. You know, screw the SEC. Gary the Gopher Gensler, no thank you, right? Well, why Ripple is fighting the SEC? This is a great question, because even though you may have that particular answer, right, it's nice to actually just have it pinpointed and have Brad Garlinghouse be involved, being the guy answering. This is only 1 minute. Here is why Ripple is fighting the SEC. Here we go.
It was literally 4 years ago this week that Bill Hinman, the director of corporate finance at the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, gave a speech saying that ETH was not a security. And by the way, let me be clear. I do not think ETH is a security. I don't think XRP is a security. 4 years have gone by, and we still don't have clarity about how the SEC is going to say what is and is not a security. And worse, actually, now the SEC, the current chair, Gensler, is really walking back the statement around ETH, and that he has been asked directly, is ETH a security? He won't answer the question. Like, how can we be competitive in the United States in an industry where a primary regulator will not provide that clarity? The vast, vast, vast majority of people want to do right by the rules, but you got to know where the rules are. Right? Tribalism in crypto is holding us all back. Like, we just got to stop it. Like, we have to, like, we're on the same team. It was literally 4 years ago this week that Bill.
All right. Nice to hear that from the head honcho, or one of the two head honchos, I should say, Brad Garlinghouse, right? But you know, it gets right to the point, and you want to see that. You want to see that basically explained in a minute. There you go. All right. If you're just tuning in, thank you for joining us here on this particular Saturday night for Crypto Talk Now. Consider changing your avatar if you haven't done so to something that speaks more about who you are and what you're about, especially if you're new. And we have a very welcoming community. Any questions, comments you have, feel free to put them right in the comments. And yeah, no one's going to bite your head off, whether you're a newbie to crypto or, you know, you're like, yeah, I've been into crypto since 2010. You cannot tell me anything I don't know. I am Bitcoin Maxi. You guys don't know squat about your altcoin. Bitcoin to the moon. Well, I welcome you as well. All right. Let's go further down. Joey Patrick Hisola. What can you say about HBAR? I have nothing but good things to say about HBAR. All those particular partnerships. How is the greenest particular, I shouldn't say blockchain, right? But, you know, the greenest particular crypto, right? Hashgraph is totally different from blockchain, traditional blockchain. But it's the greenest of the green. And combine that with the report we put out yesterday, over 1 billion transactions this last month, a 6,000% increase in transactions. And as a result of that, we're going to pull it up real quick. The market is reflecting that. I'm going to show you guys this real quick. So yesterday, and I believe even still to this day, it is pumping. Let me see. On the 24-hour chart, this is a top 100. So it was pumping a lot more yesterday. I think it was up over 20% at one point yesterday. Hedera's HBAR currently ranked 28th. If I'm not mistaken, it's even ahead of Stellar right now. It's sitting at 0.088, so a little close to 9 cents. But yeah, I mean, basically 6,000% increase in transactions. You could have a bear market. It's all about the utility basically being utilized, right? That was one of the main things. So we covered that yesterday, and it's just really been doing well, right? I mean, like, you know, it was about a week ago. Even on the 6th, actually, this was down to the 6 cent range roughly, and now we're, you know, this is about a 2 cent increase. I mean, even for a swing trade, this is not too bad, you know. So I wouldn't swing trade it. That's just me. I mean, this is something that's a long-term hold for me. You know, I'm looking at Hedera's H bar kind of like somebody would look at like Amazon, I guess you could say. I mean, I think it's massive. The Google partnership, Boeing, NASA. I mean, it's just they're really, really doing really well. That governing council that they have, very impressive. The speed of Hedera, the ecosystem that they have, what they're doing with NFTs. I mean, they're literally covering everything. Combine that with one of the smart. I would say this, not this one of the smartest. I think he is the smartest. And you guys know how I feel about Gilbert Verdian. I think personally that Dr. Lehman Baird is the smartest guy in all of crypto. I'm just going to throw that out there. So hopefully that answers your question. Salamander, I'd be happy if XRP was at $15 minimum. I think a lot of people would be, and that will be the start of a nice milestone. I think I mentioned that yesterday too. Tim Shea, Salamander, that will happen. It's just a question of when. Salamander also states, yes, when we may retire and go to Cancun on a yacht, and it'll be the Salamander XDC Commander yacht. Summer Flood, Salamander, never been on a yacht. I've been on one a long time ago, but it was parked. All right, and it was basically on that little narrow strip, not on the Atlantic Ocean side, but on the other side of the Miami Beach Strip, if you will. And it was just parked there and so on. It was quite interesting, to say the least. It was a very, very fun time, and I'll just leave it at that. All right. Salamander states, I believe there is a settlement that SEC wants, but Ripple wants to settle with the SEC, stating that XRP is not a security. XRP will be $10, according to Stevie, when it's not a security. Yeah, a lot of people feel as though $10 would be a minimum. And a lot of people feel as though it'll be even higher than that. I feel as though that, yeah, I mean, I can agree with that, at least $10. XRP is not a security. Yes. Thank you for being here, Mr. Selmo. Mr. Lambos, party on Tim's future yacht. Yes, we're going to have a yacht competition. Michael Santiago, Quant to the moon. Thank you for stating that. I believe in Quant as well. We cover it quite a bit. Salamander, XRP better win the SEC case because the SEC will go after all crypto and who's next Ethereum. Very true. Stevie, you stocked up on XRP, and hopefully you'll say, you know me. And let's go further down. Cody Core's in the house. Welcome, Cody. He believes H-bar will rule them all. All right. Let me go further down. And we got Fang, who says, how likely is Jasmine Coin getting to $1? I think it is more than likely. Because basically, before their version of regulation, when they, had a big clamp down on their country, this was ready close to $5. So for it to get to $1, you got to keep in mind it was basically the Japanese government who suppressed everything. It's a direct reaction, first starting off with Terra Luna, right? Or UST technically. So when all that stuff happening, they decided, look, we got to have the best interests, if you will, of our Japanese citizens and so on. And they, as a result, did a direct reaction to that. And then some. You could combine that with, for instance, with Celsius, some of these other things that happened, maybe even VGX. And if anything, the FTX thing, I think, was just the icing on the cake. Then after that, we, of course, heard about the unbanning of, foreign stable coins, Tether, Circle, right? So those pairings are definitely going to help. And this is supposed to end in June. That in itself, that lifting of the ban will definitely help with getting some particular price targets. I stated it numerous times. I feel as though that Jasmine, and again, it's not financial advice, but Jasmine has one of the best risk to reward ratios at this particular time. I would not state this if Jasmine, of course, was, this was, the end of 2021, where things are starting to go in a different direction. I think Jasmine hit bottom at roughly 0.002829 in that range. and it's still even a great entry point right now. I'm just telling everybody, like I was telling all you guys at the beginning of the show, don't buy on a green candle. But I mean, if you got to do it, you got to do it. But even people that bought on a green candle, I mean, it's still a great entry point, technically speaking. And even if people came in at a penny, it still technically is a great entry point. It's just not as great as it is right now. So I happen to have, well over 100,000 of these. Some of you guys got higher. I saw some people from the recorded section stating that they have like over 1 million of these. One guy was saying that his goal is to get 2 million. Whatever the case be, I mean, if it got to $1, then like my own personal holding, it would be, $100,000 worth. Me personally, I'm looking to get more Jasmy. I feel as though I should try to set some new goals for Jasmy and DCA more into it. That's just me. All right. Michael Santiago, what you can say about Radix? I can't say anything about that because I'm not aware of it. All right, Stevie, XRP price will go up double bull cycle, but it didn't move last cycle because of the SEC. That's a good point. And knowing that, here's another thing. Let's just take a moment to recognize this. So don't put so much focus strictly on the whole thing with the SEC. We're all rooting for a Ripple win, right? But with the mandate for ISO 222, I think that's still the biggest thing for, the likes of XRP, some of these other ones going forward. If we can get a Ripple win at the same time, that would even be that much more better or huge. Or if we get, so I would say the crypto trifecta, right? This will be a different form of that trifecta. A Ripple win, regulatory clarity, and on top of that, ISO 222 mandate. Oh, jeez. Wow. But we might not give that all at once. But March definitely is interesting. It's very, very interesting. All right, KK, just feels like everyone is going to pile into crypto when they see mainstream lied to them about crypto. And if they do, that's fine. But the key thing is that we got into these at these sale prices before things take off. Because let's face it, guys, there will be a certain amount of FOMO that will come in. And then that's when everything is just like, wow, this is something else, Like the classic meme of the guy standing, there's, the ticket booth. Everyone's buying their tickets for the FOMO. And there's hardly anybody buying these particular tickets when they're at these particular prices. Just you, me, and a few others. All right. Let me see what we got here. Jasmy has been $4.99 before, so why not $1? Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. Salamander, only 1.2 million XDC Cody Core. But Jasmy has way less circulating supply at the time. That's a very good point. And now it's 93%. That's another good point. Yeah. Very, very valid point. Yes, that is true because, back then they didn't have as much as that. That's a good point. I'm glad you mentioned that because, that shouldn't be overlooked. Yeah, good point. Props to Mike. Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. Salamander, where do you see the XDC utility is in full motion? All right, that's a good question. All right, Rain states the problem is why XRP is over in 5 years. They saying it'll be 10 and above. Nothing. We will see this just advertising XRP in your opinion. Okay. Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk, based on Quincy Jones, I believe you're saying, could reach up to $10 by 2025. That's not too shabby. That's not too shabby at all. And then even beyond then, right? Like if we got to half of what Richard Common Sense Crypto was saying, he's saying basically $80. I'm more than cool with all of that. Sign me up. I already am signed up, but I need to get more bigger bags of my XRP because my attitude is why not? Some of that just kind of makes sense. All right, let's go further down. XDC will be one of the biggest, if not the biggest. What is the $19 trillion trade industry? All right, I can't get through all these comments, and that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this particular one right here and kick it back into the news. You hope it goes much lower. You need to increase the 100K position. All right, let me just double check to see if I'm caught up on all the other comments on the other screen. Don't want to miss anything. And let me just kick it back into the news. So I see we have 50 people here. Welcome. Glad to have you here on this particular Saturday night. And let's go ahead and get right into the rest of our news. So earlier we showed you guys the whole thing with Ripple's XRP. Let's jump right into, believe it or not, Stellar. Yeah, Stellar. It's nice to get some Stellar XLM news coverage, right? Always. So here it is. And shout out to this person, Anthony Barker. Says, congratulations, Stellar Org, for passing 1 billion transactions in Q4 2022. All right. Of course, that's based on the report. This was released, at the end of January, but I didn't realize that they passed 1 billion transactions. And the reason why I put emphasis on this is because what we reported last night with Hedera's H-bar, right? So Hedera, of course, did over 1 billion transactions, was up 6,000%. Pretty crazy stuff. Didn't realize at the same time that around the same time, right? Basically, 10 days before that all happened with Hedera, you had Stellar part of that particular mix. Not too shabby. All right. On top of that, we have this I want to share with you. And this is some more updated news in regards to Stellar. Paris Blockchain Week and Google Cloud launch Web3 startup competition. We talked a little bit about this last night, so just in case you missed yesterday's show, kind of want to reiterate it, and it's going to, again, from a different source. So it says top speakers and supporters from 2023 include the lovely Danelle Dixon, who's CEO and Executive Director of Stellar Development Foundation. So let's jump into this. And if anything, here it is from Grit Daily, and hopefully this won't be like Forbes where they block me for not being subscribed or to their, paying monthly or weekly to their service, but whatever the case be, I get it. They got to make money. So it says Paris Blockchain Week and Google Cloud launch Web3 startup competition. Now, how is this tied into the likes of Stellar, right? So it states that, Paris Blockchain Week will connect startups to cloud technology. This is big. Investors, acceleration programs, et cetera, right? This was posted, I believe, yesterday, because I think it's February 11th. Yeah, it is February 11th. So in Paris, the startup competition at Paris Blockchain Week will kick off in partnership with Google Cloud. Startups with a focus on blockchain and Web3 will have up to, listen to this, February 15th, which is only, 4 days away, to apply to participate in this unique opportunity to engage with investors that have dedicated focus on the industry and convince them to back their specific projects. On top of that, participants in the inspiring competition will include promising projects in the Web3 and blockchain space. Look at this. The startup competition will put the spotlight on startups with high potential, providing more than 100 ambitious founders with unique exposure, feedback from reputable investors, et cetera, et cetera. Additionally, this competition offers these particular startups access to funding, that's key, acceleration, programs, and coaching even from specific partners. Paris Blockchain Week considers startups that raise less than apparently 3 million MIO. Participating investors will be first in line to discover Web3 startups with high potential and will have the opportunity ahead of others to invest in these innovators and game changers. Now, in regards to what's going to happen during the actual competition, here it is. States that more than 100 pre-screened decks will be seen by investors who will decide which 10 projects will be able to live or a live pitch, I should say, to the investors on the 20th of March. I've actually done something like similar to this, not in regards to blockchain, but back in 2015, where I had to pitch my game idea to venture panels. So I could totally relate on how you really need to bring your A game. So hopefully some of these guys do the same thing. For 10 selected founders in the program, there will be an opportunity to pitch and build their network in the frame of the Investors Day. Now, of course, there's more about this, right? But check out what will happen in regards to the winning 3 startups. So the winning 3 will pitch their project to Paris Blockchain attendees on the main stage at the flagship Paris Blockchain Week Summit. Emmanuel Fennet, who's CEO of Paris Blockchain Week, as, quote, We are extremely delighted to announce the startup competition with Google Cloud as it underlines the entrepreneurial spirit of Paris Blockchain Week and the bright future of the industry. We gladly invite all open-minded professionals, digital assets enthusiasts, investors, and entrepreneurs to gather in one amazing place. I think this is awesome. I'm glad to see this personally. You know, part of my MBA is I have an emphasis in entrepreneurship. This is like me being like fat kid on cake. I love seeing things reported about this. There's more info about the startups and so on. There's about 150 dedicated Web3 investors. That's quite a bit who are going to be there to take place into this particular event. There's more about the particular Paris Blockchain Week that's outlined here on Grit Daily. And another thing I want to basically mention is that you have some of those particular top speakers. And one, of course, is the lovely Denell Dixon, who's CEO and executive director of Stellar, who's going to be there. And yeah, there it is. Really cool to see this. It is stellar news. Is it enough to basically make the price pump? In reality, no. But you do like the idea that she's going to be there. These guys are going to pitch this. And if anything, she could team up with them to get their project going. And most importantly, do what? Have it built on Stellar. And how many other times have we seen other projects do just that? Build upon Stellar. There's quite a few. So add another few to the list. And hopefully some of these will be standout ones. This is, again, perfect examples of how you get ecosystems to thrive. And let's face it, guys, sometimes you can get a real great key one to build on your particular platform. Proof in the pudding, look at SingularityNet, AGIX. We've stated for countless months now, they are the standout one for who? The Cardano ecosystem. If you can get something that stands out for Stellar, hey, let's have it. All right. Glad to share that with you guys. Let's kick it back into the comments. We do have some more particular news for you. And the next segment will be basically XDC. All right. So let's get into who's next. And we have, for instance, Stevie says XRP to $50 in 2026. It's going to be a lot higher than $50, my friend. I'm just going to throw that out there. Here's the thing. And the reason why I'm stating this, I'm not bashing what you're stating. I mean, if you're like gung-ho for 50, well, then more power to you, right? But my thing is this. From March of 2023, which is literally what? The end of next month. From that point till November of 2025, we will have everything of ISO 222 fully implemented, right, of that particular mandate. I am supposed to believe that the majority of these particular central banks will not be utilizing Ripple's on-demand liquidity. There's no way. They definitely are. Otherwise, why did you bother being part of this particular mandate? And with that also said, you're going to see a crazy amount of what? Cross-border payments, overseas payments, et cetera, et cetera. The key thing is that utility being kicked in and used, whether it is Ripple or whether it is even some of these other particular ones, like we mentioned, Cypherium, right, with the FedNow payment system. But truth be told, when it comes to Ripple, they definitely are going to stand out in regards to that. So with that said, I don't think it's going to be the typical, oh, a few $1 trillion here, a few $1 trillion there. No. If anything, this is going to incentivize, like I mentioned before, for these particular central banks to do what? Utilize this utility. And it's these blockchain technologies that are part of, as the saying goes, ISO 222. That's the key. And since that is the key, you should see more and more of those particular transactions. If we're seeing price increase of 2 cents for the likes of Hedera's H-bar with over 6,000% increase in transactions, you better believe your sweet you know what, that you're going to see something that you've never seen before in the history of crypto as far as market cap increase. This is where mainstream media might actually finally report on some of the amazing things that have happened, instead of the narrative being basically Bitcoin all the way or Bitcoin to the moon. Now people will start paying attention to the likes of Ripple, XLM, some of these other ones. So that's the way I look at it. But hey, some people are cool with $50, and is technically a big, huge increase compared to where we're at. All right, ISO Jetpack 20, or I should say J0229. I just want 20 quant. Yeah, that's one of my particular goals. I'm not quite there yet, but I will be. 10,000 of each ISO, ALCX, or you're saying just maybe you're saying LCX is the wave, or maybe that is what you're saying. I don't know. But I am a fan of LCX. Cushy Boy, day traders buy on green candles, investors buy on red dips. Very true. But welcome, Jetpack. Glad to have you here. Let me see. We're at Crypto Mikey states 230 billion market cap for Jasmine is $5. Wow, that's pretty impressive. If it gets to that. Rayan states not 10K, just 2,500 enough. Okay. Peace to Tim. McDiz, that seems double or doable in a bullish market. Yeah. Jetpack states anything under $1 is robbery for these assets. Coochie Boy, remember all these assets have seen a bull run or two. McDizzle says it's an all-time high if 132 billion market cap for Jasmine. And that tells you the circulating supply was so low, it was 5. That in itself is huge, because that's the key thing. The circulating supply was very low, and it was $5. Now we're at 93%. And we also heard that the entire supply should be out by the end of the year. At least that's what I've heard. I have to double check that. That's massive. I think that's why a lot of people feel as though don't turn your back on Jasmine. All right. Tim Shea says the foreign exchange market is what 4.9 quadrillion. The crypto market should capture at least a sliver of that. I agree. That's a great statement as well. You guys got great research tonight. Thank you very much. 10,000 XRP is safe for the case and new contracts coming. XRP is a long-term hold, so buy now and get that out of the way. Very good point. Coochie Boy states FX market is 6 or 7 trillion. All right, get 10,000 each. If any hit $1, you'll be well off. Yeah, 10,000 XRP is a massive bay, and if anything, I think that even puts you in a. Remember, there's those particular statistics where it's just it states what percentage there are of holders. So like I don't know if that puts you in the top 5% or maybe the top 1% of all XRP holders, but I can't remember what it is. It's pretty amazing. Hold on. Coochie Boy, you're right, bro. Thanks. Did everyone just buffer? Was just me? I don't know. I didn't see that. Your foundation should be 10,000 XRP and 10,000 XLM. Okay. All right. You only trade GBP, and JPY. Okay, so Great Britain pounds in Japanese yen. Interesting. ISO Jetpack J0229. Everything else is icing on the cake. Yeah, but I mean, in reality, if you held some of these particular assets long enough, right? I mean, it would all be gravy, or as you would say, icing on the cake from there. Some of us says, I believe Crypto Talk Now predicted a bull run on February 14th, 2023. Yes, Larry has stated that at exactly 5 p.m. Eastern time. And it's funny how that's going to work out, because there's supposed to be a special congressional hearing referring to the crypto crash of 2022, and they also happen to have some info in regards to supposedly some bullish settlement. We have to see how that goes. But ironically, this meeting on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2023, which is on this coming Taco Tuesday, right? Taco Tuesday on Valentine's Day. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, it's supposed to happen at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, and it's supposed to end at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Just throwing that out there. You never know. I've done also 5 videos on the bull run thesis. I know a lot of people aren't with me on that because they see all this other stuff that happens. Let's face it. I mean, mini black swans or black swan events and so on. This whole thing about staking, those things could happen in either a bull run or a bull market or a bear market. But it's all interesting. All right, back up. Here we go. You guys know the drill. Menelek says, hello. Is it he you're looking for? Lionel Richie. All right. Let's go further down. Ram, 10K of XLM. Impressive. But welcome, Menelek. That is impressive. I have to agree. Yep, Mentelect the man. You know what? Maybe I have something I want to share in regards to Mentelect. Hold on a second. Oh man, I don't know if I have it anymore. I don't have it anymore. Dang it. Maybe there's another way I could pull it up. I think there might be. Yeah, there might be. Hold on, let me see. I might be able to pull this up, especially if he commented on one of these particular ones. Hopefully he did. There's some recent comments that you posted, Menelect. Come on, Maximus, hurry up and get this. Yes, I think I did find this. I like this. I'm going to share this. This was not planned. This was posted over a year ago. This comes from the great Mentelect. I want to share this with you guys. All right, here's some Crypto Talk Now bonus footage from the one and only Mentelect. It's about encouragement, all right? And when I watched this a while ago, I was like, you know what? I need to share this someday on the show. Here's the great Mentelect. Here we go.
And I wanted to take a few moments to encourage all those who are struggling right now due to job loss or due to the loss of family members because of the coronavirus or cancer or whatever reason they may have died. I want to offer them a few words of encouragement. I personally myself have lost 4 family members within the last 5 months. But I know there's a lot of people who have financial troubles right now, family troubles, they have daycare issues, etc. And so I'm talking to them, but I'm also talking to those who are in a better situation. They're in a position now to help. If you are a person who finds yourself in a position to help, please help those who are less fortunate than you. I do understand that most people also have their own troubles and issues, but I think you will feel better if you provided a helping hand, a few words of encouragement to anyone you may come across that you see are suffering. And for those who are living more perfect lives, it's not a time to celebrate, it's a time to help.
Well, it gets chopped off at the end, but he has other ones like like you had this one about encouraging and helping our youth, and I think that's another thing that needs to get mentioned a little bit more, and that is the lack of fathers there are in this world and so on. So shout out to Menelect. I don't know, I've been meaning to share that for a while, but I thought that was really cool. All right, so let me go further down. Jetpack J0229. They use words slick to digital assets. Aren't crypto? Crypto is a slang term. Okay. Mr. Lambo states, what's with this supposed Valentine's Day crash? Oh, yeah. Well, the whole thing is this, right? Sorry about this. Storm chair kind of drives me nuts sometimes. And, it's funny how they pick specific holidays, right? If you know your history, for instance, the St. Valentine's Day massacre. Is it going to be a massacre in crypto? Is it going to cause a major crash? We'll have to see. All right. Hi on Life 444. Welcome. I haven't seen you here before. Consider changing your avatar to something that speaks more about who you are and how you're high on life. He states, howdy, when do you think the Japanese government will lift the ban on cryptos, which will definitely affect the Japanese price? So to answer that specific question, we have covered this, and we mentioned this earlier, and that is this coming June, they're lifting the ban on foreign stablecoins, Tether's USDT, Circle's USDC, and that is crucial because, if anything, it's a step in the right direction. we want to see more pairings for the likes of Jasmy. So Jasmy/USDT, Jasmy/USDC, so on and so forth. And on top of that, you want to see more of the Japanese government, people who actually live there. I should say the government, but the citizens be able to have access to these particular cryptos. It's a positive thing, and that's why a lot of people feel as though that at these particular distressed prices, that risk to reward ratio is really, really appealing. All right, so let's go further down. XRP is going to 5 digits. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Come on, Mental Legs. Mental Leg, when do you think it'll hit 5 digits? That's a good question. That explains why it was much easier to make money in FX back then than now. Interesting. Quadrillions market cap. That's where I'm with Mike on this. Some people have the attitude they base everything just on the all-time highs for Bitcoin, Ethereum. Yes, we understand that represents 80 to 81% of their overall crypto market, and they're basing a lot of things on the overall market was it 3.5, maybe 4 trillion at that particular time total, and they're saying that was the highest it's ever been. There's no way that we get to these crazy market caps, for crypto. And they just don't understand that this is where the term the utility run comes in. That utility run brings a huge wave of insane market cap to crypto. I mean, XRP in itself, when you think about the on-demand liquidity being fully utilized, can you imagine how huge the market cap will be added to the overall market cap of crypto? It's massive. And that, technically speaking, just represents Ripple, not to mention some of these other ones that are huge as well. XLM, so on and so forth. All right, Menelec, XRP 5 digits before 2027, but likely sooner. Wow, really cool. WTK, yeah, I know some of you guys have been mentioning that quite a bit. It is part of my research that I need to do. Crypto Talks, Mr. Lambo says, I like that prediction. Menelec, yeah, that'd be amazing. Let's face reality. Well, I'm with Menelec on that, to be honest, because I do look at, again, that on-demand liquidity. I mean, it's not even, come on, guys, it's not even, this is why it's at like, what, 40, it fluctuates between 38 to 40 cents. Is because it just, imagine having the greatest utility. Like we always state this so many times. You can your crypto can have the greatest utility in the world, but if it's not utilized, then it doesn't matter yet. But that's the key thing. Yet, we are literally approaching yet here soon, at least the start of it. I mean, for people who can't be patient about seeing this become fully utilized by, I guess, the end of 2025, I don't know what to tell you. All right, I'm going to read this. XRP is a global stablecoin with a price set secretly years ago. Yeah, very good point. Triple C is in the house. Triple C, I did look more into BSV. I announced it earlier in the the live stream. I can see why you're so impressed with it. And 100,000 TPS, my God. The whole thing with, I guess you could say, being a faster or better competitor than the likes of Visa or MasterCard is huge. It's basically Bitcoin with scalability. But yeah, I've been looking more into it, so I can see why you're very impressed with it. Doesn't necessarily mean I'll do a deep dive into it, but I am looking to at least get a bag of that. But yeah, I can see why you're very impressed with it. It was kind of like the itch that needed to be scratched the other day. I'm like, why is this guy so gung-ho about this BSV? I just wish it would trend more. That's all I'm saying. That's not me flooding it. But I am very, very impressed with BSV. All right, so Menelec states XLM is going to be a global stablecoin as well. Yep, I truly believe that as well. Hey, Cool Cat Max was covering BSV. Yes, I was. Too bad you weren't here for that. You can always go and rewind it. It was towards the beginning of the show if you want. Coochie Boy, she didn't fall for the tip back. Oh boy. All right, let's go further down. Who are the flood killer? I understand XRP, but what is the catalyst for XLM to increase in price? Well, my thing is this is just like the saying goes, the peer-to-peer side of things. So this whole thing of ISO 222 implementation or the mandate and so on, you know, when it comes to specifically payments, not everybody is part of the bank-to-bank payments. That's huge in itself, right? That's where most of the money is. But there's still something to be said about just like, I want to send money to whoever overseas or the next neighboring country, or heck, even here in the United States, and so on, right? So it's the retail side of things. Combine that with the whole idea of taking escrow out of the picture. I think that's huge. Not even having to have a bank account, technically speaking. We gave the examples about Nigeria and so on. Being able to convert that particular Nigerian, what's it called, Naira, straight to XLM, that's big in itself. But yeah, being part of that particular mandate. And how about this? Being able to have that backed by silver. Some people are putting the price of XLM with silver. There's so much focus about XRP and gold. That's massive in itself. And apparently I was lowballing it, right? Some people are telling me like, Max, you're lowballing XLM at $100. Some of you guys, even Menelect, I even saw one of his particular comments that he had in the recorded section. He's got well over $1,000 and so on. So I guess I was being, technically speaking, like very conservative on some of these price predictions, not financial advice. All right. Menelect, Jasmine seems promising. Yes, it does. All right, $85 minimum XRP or XLM. Yeah, I agree with you on that. All right, Menelect states XLM was also a global stablecoin by the IMF. It still moves tens of trillions in value per year. Very good statement. Damn, may have to buy some Jasmine now. Yeah. Triple C says 3 more days until Larry's prediction kicks in. Yes. All right. Coochie Boy puts 5 on everything. Menelect, Jasmine updating their business plan recently and having 94% of their supply on the market is great. Cool Cat states, oh my God, it's Taco Tuesday. It's also mooning. All right. We're going to get back into the news here in a bit. Do you think staking will be banned to all crypto? No, I don't think so. I think if anything, it just affects Americans. All right, so you're in the Philippines. I think you're fine, personally. Grizzly Bear Gray's in the house. Good to see you, Grizzly Bear. Appreciate you. If it drops another 5, put another 5 on it. Like the Loonies, put 5 on it. All right, Mike. Yeah, his name used to be the other. So Mike Long. DeFi staking, they can only ban it on exchanges in USA. Yes. Do not sleep on XDC. I've been saying that for countless days now. A lot of you guys have been saying that too. Don't sleep on that GBAX either, or that XSP. XRP will never go to 5 digits. All right. Well, that's your opinion. Menelect XSP is amazing too. Great video, Menelect. Nice, Menelect. Yeah, I was glad to share that about Menelect. XCC is the only ISO I haven't got yet. I will on payday. Oh, okay. Well, at least you see the light with that. That's okay. Cool Cat Crypto. JP Morgan loves him some XDC. Yeah, you know me. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. The whole thing with the R3 Corda. And then you see the CEO come on TV or whatever being interviewed, and it's just like, it's ridiculous. It's like, how could you say some of these particular things? Do you not have like a private assistant, somebody, right, for the PR department or something, like just kind of like, hey, hold on, like you might not want to say that. Well, why do I want to say? Because technically speaking, we have all this already going on, quorum, and we have, for instance, this whole thing with R3. Oh, we do? I was not aware of that. Well, yeah, maybe you should, kind of like check in with me before you go on camera. Anyway. And Biden loves sniffing kids. Interesting. Yeah, I saw a lot of those videos. Crypto Puppet still in the house. When you expect Quant will explode, Max, hope I grab at least 10 before this year's news. When do I expect Quant to explode? I think, if anything, around the June-ish area. I think it's going to be really, really huge for quant. Depending on the dates. So we haven't got specific dates in regards to this exact date will be for the digital pound, or this exact date is going to be for Latin America and stuff like that. But it was supposed to be around June. But once we get some of that going, and then let's face it, them utilizing the actual digital pounds of those particular, I should say pounds, the CBDCs for those particular areas, that's the key thing, because then you realize okay, the utility and what's been made and so on. So June, July-ish is going to be huge. Obviously, XLM, XRP could be very well huge by the end of March. Maybe it's April, but where the case be, this whole philosophy that nothing is going to move as far as price action at all, I just don't think that's the case. I think, if anything, you'll see that, because we've had countless examples now. Whenever utility is literally being used, there is a decent amount of price action. All right, Kushi Boy states, if China gets back on board, then we will see some huge numbers again. All right. I'll give Biden something to sniff, says Triple C. You should go spray all over Biden's house. Yikes. You're talking about the BSV? No, I understand. Yeah, no. Look, I'll give credit where it's credit's due. I am very, very impressed with BSV. Again, I just wish it would trend more. That's the main thing. But yeah, it does seem like it's the real deal. I could totally see why you're all gung-ho about it. I didn't take like a super like long deep dive into it, but I did do some research last night because it was bugging me, and I was like, wow, when you were like you were basically stating that it was faster than everything. That and stuff, I was like, why is he stating this? He says the H bar is really fast, but he says BSV is even faster. And then I read 100,000 TPS. I was like, my God. And on top of that, I don't know. Maybe I'll just take a brief moment. This shout out to Cool Cat Crypto. A brief moment, right? So there's some key things here. Oh my God, Max is finally doing it. Well, not really. This is not going to take too long, but I want to show you guys something real quick, all right? I mean, you can view this on their site too, all right? So there's some key things. There's this guy, I guess his name is Craig Wright, if I'm not mistaken. He claims to be Satoshi. Who knows, right? But yeah, this is a fork, technically speaking, from Bitcoin Cash, as BSV, right? It gets more into some of the particular founders, right? Like there's this guy, he's a scientist, Craig Wright, claimed to be Satoshi Nakamoto. But the key thing here was, hold on a second, 100,000. I don't have that, but I could have sworn I read the whole thing about 100,000 TPS was very, very impressive. There it is. Here it is. Yes. With testing of the new node software, the BSV infrastructure, I think this is where Cool Cat's always bashing quant about the infrastructure. So the BSV infrastructure team has already demonstrated the BSV's network's ability to handle up to 100,000 transactions per second, and expects the capacity to be shown on the BSV mainnet and grow even higher in the future. With this capability, BSV, listen to this. This in itself is huge. This is why I don't understand why this is not. Why aren't more people? Why isn't this trending more? Can somebody answer that? It says, with this capability, BSV rivals and aims to supersede the payment processing capabilities of platforms like Visa at a fraction of the cost to users. That in itself is huge. Like if I didn't even if I did do more research into that in itself, would, like, I'd be willing to throw money at this. I'm just being honest. All right. So, I'm not going to make every particular show about BSV or anything like that, but I can have a broader understanding why the Cornwall's cat, right, Triple C, is always gung ho about BSV. There is a little bit more here. It says BSV also offers, listen to this, it's basically Bitcoin with scalability. I talk about quant basically being Bitcoin with utility, right? But check this out. It's literally Bitcoin with scalability. That in itself is huge, right? So it says BSV offers scalable and product-ready platform for blockchain application devs. Well, as we know, devs are where it's at, right? Many of whom have migrated from other networks such as ETH after encountering scalability issues, right? No duh, especially with ETH, right? As their adoption increased, BSV capable of scaling along with user adoption. That's the key thing here, user adoption. I want to see more user adoption, which means developers can be assured that the transaction fees will remain low and interactions will be processed quickly. As far as the functionality about BSV states, it's attracted to enterprise and government users. That in itself might be the underlying factor where this doesn't trend as much. Because technically speaking, let's be honest, guys, Stellar doesn't trend enough, right? But what's Stellar tied into? They're tied into the government. How do we know that? Well, let's face it, the Fed officially recognized them. This particular statement, without even jumping more into it, the functionality of BSV is attractive to enterprise and government users. That in itself, that would be like the second main thing why I would want to jump into this. Combine that with how Bitcoin has a circulating supply of 21 million. BSV also has a particular, I should say circulating supply, maximum supply of 21 BSV. Maximum of 21 million BSV coins in circulation. Let's double check that real quick. If you go here, it shows that the max supply of BSV is 21 million. Total supply is slightly under that. You do have, similar to how Jasmine, listen to this, guys. I saw this earlier, but I want to reiterate this. I know I'm doing BSV. Oh my God, Max is finally doing BSV. Hear me out. So look at this. Circulating supply of BSV, 19,266,000. That is very similar to like what Jasmine's doing. But of course, Jasmine has a hell of a lot more tokens. So if anything, this is a lot more scarce. I like scarcity. Well, Max, why didn't you jump into BSV a long time? I don't know. I was covering a lot of other stuff. But yeah, I am actually looking to get into this. As far as me covering more, we'll see. I don't know. But I definitely will give you props. Give credit where credit's due. But stop bashing quant so much. But anyway, it's interesting. There's a few exchanges you can get this at if you're interesting. Like if all of a sudden, oh my God, Max, I got to have me some BSV. All right. You can go to KuCoin, Bittrex, Huobi. Well, I wouldn't recommend Huobi. OKX is okay. MEXC, Rich Common Sense is a fan of it. You want to get it on Ishmart, you can get it there. I don't know. Those are probably the big ones. Yeah, those are probably those. If it was me, I get off of KuCoin. You know me, I'm probably gonna do KuCoin. But yeah, it's interesting. It's in the top 100. It's ranked 60th. But okay, I want to jump into this real quick. I know I just made this whole thing. This is not planned. It wasn't. Here is what interests me. I'll just be honest. I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. This is really interesting. All right. I want to draw your attention to the particular chart. So it shows here that back in 2019, this was as low as 64 bucks. Technically, the lowest of the low was 54 bucks back in April of 2019. That isn't the lowest of the low. But the point is this. It had blast off later in 2019. But as far as like really huge blast off was basically in 2020, which was only about a year later. Went up to 420. But based on this particular point of the low, right? Here's the all-time high. And the all-time high was about $441. So my point is this. I'm seeing something that is very, very interesting here. Now, I'm not a fortune teller, but this is what caught my eye. Bitcoin, as we know, has, we cover this a lot. 4-year cycles. You don't believe me. I'm not making this stuff up, right? Look at it for yourself. Shout out to Richard Hart of Hex. He has been spot on. There's 4-year cycles. When I looked more further into BSV last night, it was late last night. I was like, why the hell am I looking more into this? But everything I started reading more up about it caught my interest. I know. So I said to myself, this is supposed to be like the true Bitcoin, if you will, more of Satoshi Nakamoto's vision. It's scalable. It's because obviously Bitcoin is not scalable. This is. But Bitcoin has 4-year cycles. This apparently has 2-year cycles, roughly. Now, if you look at this chart, you will see April 2021. That was 2 years ago. We're approaching now April of 2023. It's right around the corner. There's been a lot of sideways consolidation for many, many months now. You know, in reality, this is not like your typical crypto asset where, you know, if it's only like 2 to 5%, it doesn't affect the value. It definitely does affect the value. But the point is, dating back all the way to, you know, May of 2022 to present, you know, it's been hovering around this $40 range to that particular range. Technically speaking, like you see right here, this is strong consolidation. I'm just going to throw this out there. This is just my own personal opinion. All right. I don't want to get people's hopes up any more than the next guy because I'm not an expert by any means. I feel as though that this is strengthening this particular asset. And I do see something crazy happening here soon. All right. This could absolutely blast off. And if it did, even if it hit half this particular target, that in itself is huge. So I did the math on it. And I said to myself, well, what would happen if I threw like $4,000 at it? I know I always mention $4,000. If I threw $4,000 at this and got a decent amount of coins, I think it was like, about 100, if I'm not mistaken. And it went to like right around the all-time highs. I'm looking at like $80,000, right? Basically turning 4,000 to 80,000. That's not too shabby. It ain't gonna make me rich, but that's not too shabby. But I did read a little bit more in regards to BSV, and it also mentioned that there's some projections for this to go well beyond some of these particular all-time highs. And don't get me wrong, some of these people, you know, they're like BSV maxis and so on, but there's something to be said because there's something to be said in regards to this is these particular statements tied into the government. And also this whole thing about trying to accomplish, what was it, the visa issue? Yeah. BSV rivals and aims to supersede the payment processing capabilities of platforms like Visa at a fraction of the cost to users. Visa in itself, this is where you get that debate of people stating, you know, well, you know, XRP, XLM, you know, they're not as fast as Visa. Right. Yeah, they're not. You know, Visa's like 25,000 TPS. You know, technically, I guess Hedera might be faster than Visa. But if you have one that's going to be truly leave Visa in the dust, then that in itself is huge. Combine that with the factor of maybe, possibly, they can have, I don't know, I have to look more into this, the government doing a CBDC with this, that would be an absolute game changer. So it's definitely on my radar. It's definitely on one I'm getting into. Might not happen necessarily tomorrow, right? Because I have a few other ones I want to get into Casper and so on. But yeah, I'll give credit where credit's due. There you go, Mr. Cool Cat Crypto. Anyway, yeah, that was not planned, but I was glad to share it. So there you go. That was some of the key highlights. I wish I had, because on my phone, I was going through my phone and I was getting other particular research about BSV, and I was watching some of these other guys. Some are YouTubers, some was on Twitter and so on. It's an interesting project, to say the least. So yeah. All right, Emmanuel, I can't pronounce that. Emmanuel, happy weekend for y'all. Hope everyone is good. HBAR seems to be a universe of its own in the last 24 hours. I can totally agree with you with that. Yeah. Sorry, still have the BSV on my mind. All right. But welcome, Emmanuel. Good to see you here again. I bet 350. Got 350 on the Chiefs. Nice. Cool Cat, take over 2.5 minutes on the national anthem. Huh. All right, let's go further down. Boomer, you think the sidearm passes will work tomorrow? Are you guys doing any of that tailgate and stuff, or are you just chilling with your families and friends? He may get knocked the F out after 3 plays, bro. Yeah. BSV is flooded more than any other project. YouTube bans most BSV content. I didn't see that. Huh. Interesting. You know what? Here's the thing. Another thing I want to point out. So there's this thing going on as we speak, which is just nonsense. Absolute nonsense. So there's a few particular YouTubers I watch, and they talk about some, I don't know, you could call it controversial stuff and whatnot. But like there's these CCP bots, if you will, that YouTube, you can actually end up having your channel thrown out or deleted and all sorts of stuff. But if you get enough people liking, right, even with these CCP bots going on, if enough people like the content, even though it's controversial, YouTube will at least recognize that and it won't get deleted. So I'm thinking that these particular videos I saw with my phone might be just that, because there's a lot of likes. So, but what sucks is, of course, some of the content creators that are not as well known, yeah, they probably would get their particular channels shut down and so on. Max said huge. Once you understand BSV, there's no going back. I get my BSV on KuCoin. Yeah, if I was going to get it, I probably would get it on a KuCoin, because I like KuCoin. It's just, to me, it's easy. I know a lot of people who are new to KuCoin, they look at it as being intimidating, but once you get used to KuCoin, it's actually very, very simple. All right. There's a Jasmine update at KRR channel. We actually had a Jasmine update last night, and we have another Jasmine update for you guys here today. CC, which crypto do you send KuCoin trade with? Great update, Max. You're very welcome. XLM fast and cheap. Yeah, I mean, it is. But I was looking at, I mean, come on, guys. 100,000 TPS. That's like, why wouldn't I not want to look more into that? XLM is the only crypto you've ever actually bought. I normally send XLM to CrapMart, and it works fast and was less expensive. Trade for everything else. All right, let me go. When BSV runs, it will be shocking. Sounds like it. No problem. BSV is going to announce 1 million TPS about in the middle of this year. Well, I know you said something, you had some kind of NDA. I hope that you're not getting yourself in trouble. But I mean, in reality, how is it? All we know you is a freaking cat. I mean, realistically, what is anybody going to say? Yeah, this cat told me something from the NDA. I mean, come on, man. How's that going to hold up? So I think you're more than fine. Tim Shea, when you just move ETH, see, it'd be different if it was Tim Shea saying this, right? I could be like, all right, look here. There's this guy. His name is Tim Shea. Here's his Twitter. Let's take a picture of, Google image search. Let's see if there's any other pictures on the internet where this guy's tied into social media and so on. Realistically, is anybody going to be able to be like, all right, this guy is a cat. He might have been featured in the 1993 hit Cool World with Kim Basinger. No, that's not going to happen. All right, Tim Shea, when you just move ETH, it's not expensive, but more expensive than most everything else. All right, good point. Megan Richardson, Bigfoot supports ISO 222 coins in 2023. Nice. Why, thanks there, Tim. All right. Let's jump more into our particular news coverage. We have some bonus coverage for the first time ever. Bitcoin Satoshi version. Breaking news. No. All right, let's jump into it. And here we go. It is XDC. Yeah, you know me. All right. Check this out, guys. We've been talking about, for instance, the whole thing with XDC. This whole concept of do not sleep on XDC. Do not be the type of person who is like, XDC is not doing anything as far as price. XDC, the rest of the market is pumping. XDC is not doing jack squat. XDC is just trading sideways. Let me tell you something. I said it once. I'll say it again. And this is coming from a guy, yes, who made decent money in 2021 with SHIB, right? 8K to 88K. You guys know the story. But there's something to be said about that. There's something to be said, not just about that, but in regards to assets that do consolidation and do it for at least 6 months straight. Now, we've seen this for quite a bit of time with XDC, dating all the way back to my recollection, even before last summer, right? It's been hovering around this 2.8, 2.9 area, 3 cent area, and so on, right? It's been consistently that. To me, that is good. That is strengthening this. And I feel as though that this is just creating a pressure cooker effect. When we get this utility run, I'm telling you flat out, XTC is going to be huge. And then people will be like, all right, that's what was going on. I'm not a fortune teller or anything. I base it on statistics, data based off of other particular projects and so on. And that is consistent. Look more into projects that traded sideways for the longest time and see for yourself how huge that can be, especially going to a true bull run. Pardon your own research. Don't believe me. Like I said, look more into it. All right. So many times here at CTN, we talk about, this whole thing of the R3 quarter bridge with XDC, how huge it is. Remember you guys heard me basically state that? Here is why it is so huge. All right, let's jump into that. So, shout out to Crypto Ready. He does a lot of particular, short videos. I'm glad that he's doing a little bit more in regards to some, written graphs and so on. It says why XDC will take all the money. Well, I don't know about all the money, but there's going to be a lot to it in regards to the trade sector, right? R3, right? I keep mentioning like R3 is huge. Why is it huge? Just like it says, more than 90% of all the banks in the world use R3. When we talk about that R3 XDC bridge, that's why it's huge, because about roughly 90+%, right? A little bit off in the banks. R3 plus XDC, the only settlement token. That part stands out in itself. Do the math. Let's blow it up. This was posted earlier today. Again, shout out to Crypto Ready. Who knows? Maybe we'll have him a guest on the show someday. That'd be kind of cool. R3's ecosystem of 300 plus firms drives cross-industry collaboration. Look at this particular ecosystem. Look at this particular collaboration. By the way, this only represents XDC with some of these particular ones you see here, part of the R3 ecosystem, right? As we know, XDC in itself has a lot more going on with that, with it than just that. But since we're on the topic of R3, look how big this is. So it says ecosystem participants, part of R3 in itself. Citibank, ING, BBVA, Barclays, UBS, Wells Fargo, right? I have Wells Fargo. I have a checking account with Wells Fargo. I've had it since, probably since I was a teenager. Actually, think about it, since I was 18, all right? HSBC, Credit Suisse, Bank of America. Remember Bank of America, that particular Ripple partnership, right? So here's the thing. The R3 Corda, thing that they got going on with XDC is massive. But look at this. It says, grow your existing network through R3's member base. And you see this onboarding already, and it's continuing to happen. They have, for instance, this thing called Core dApps, increases efficiencies across your business by utilizing ready-built Core dApps, right? And on top of that, look at some of the delivery partners. It says collaborate with system integrators, talking too much today, to move your Core dApps to production, accelerate your go-to-market strategy, so on and so forth. You want to talk about infrastructure? Deploy on your technology of choice, integrate with legacy systems. This is all being done, and you have XDC at the center of it. That is huge. Some people are already asking, when though? In March? Yes, in March. How do we know that? ISO 222 mandate, March 20th. So when we see all this going on with XDC, and you see it trade sideways and so on, again, it's kind of like the same concept when you think about it with Ripple's on-demand liquidity. Why do we use that particular example? Again, it's because the utility hasn't been fully utilized. If Ripple's on-demand liquidity is going to be massive for the central banks of the world and so on, then it makes sense that XDC would be there with it, right? It consistently have it as number 4 because of the trade sector. Combine that with everything that we see with R3, it might even happen sooner than people think. But I'm not complaining about the sideways consolidation and so on. If anything, I could appreciate it because I have a better understanding that this is going to be huge. This is why we state, don't sleep on your XDC. Or how about this? Don't sleep on XDC, period, because you might not even be in it yet, right? And at these particular prices, this is still technically on sale. Roughly around the 3 cent area. this thing is going to absolutely blast off. Not financial advice. That's just the way I personally feel about it. Shout out again to Crypto Ready for providing this. Please give him a follow. He does great content. He covers XDC almost daily. He's a crypto educator, investor, YouTuber. He's part of the XDC family. He covers some of these other ones, right? You guys like GBEX. He covers GBEX. He covers XSP. He, obviously XLM, XRP, and so on. But these three are his top three, from my understanding: XRP, XLM, and XDC. So he currently has 887 followers. His YouTube channel is doing pretty well. I think he might be even higher than us, if I'm not mistaken, like maybe around 12,000 or something like that. So he's doing really well. It'll be nice. Maybe I should reach out to him. All right. So I want to show you guys just a little bit more in regards to all this. So I saw this, and this was on actually CoinGecko. And it says, what is the XDC network? Well, we know about the network, right? But this was posted on February 9th, a few days ago. It gives you an example of how XDC is in all the middle of this. You guys are always talking about GBEX. Yesterday, we covered quite a bit in regards to EURS and so on, and why that's big. Some of you guys are big on XSP, you name it, right? But, it gives new investors an outline here, which is really, really cool. But here's the thing I want to talk about real quick, and that is specifically, I think it's XDC's NFT token. Hold on a second, which is 721. It's not on this particular one, but they have XDC 721, which is similar to kind of like Quant's NFT, but built on the XDC network. I'm going to show you guys a little bit in regards to this. There's another one. So it states here that says this innovation has resulted in the world's first NFT, a single XRC20 token backed by trade finance assets being deployed on the XDC network in September 2021. Okay, that happened a while back. But the key thing here, I'm sorry, I missed that part. It states that XDC network supports all EVM compatible smart contracts, protocols, and atomic cross-chain token transfers. Also fully complies with the ISO 222 message standard and its applications in trade finance and other payment sectors. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to skip that. This is why I feel as though that you have to include the likes of XDC when we talk about this big mandate that's coming on March 20th. There's literally the proof right there, right? Because they're part of that particular messaging standard. So just because we haven't seen this thing blast off yet, that's the main thing. Once we have this implemented, I think we start seeing the start of that. Of course, they listed this out for everybody to have an idea of how this all works. Did you happen to know that on June 1st of 2022, right, back last summer, XDC network celebrated 3 years of achievements since the launch of its mainnet back in 2019. The network itself has seen upwards, listen to this, of 372 million transactions and the creation of over 865,576 accounts with more than 12,400 smart contracts deployed on the network. Currently, the native XDC token has a market cap of roughly 500 million and a fully diluted valuation of 1.54 billion. Circulating supply of XDC is 13.81 billion out of the total 37.81 billion tokens. You could check more about it, of course, on CoinGecko. Combine that with all these other particular things. A few months ago, they launched the XDC community, which was a real positive thing. Kind of reminds me of the whole thing with Luna Classic. I know, apples and oranges, but they have similar proposals that the community brings to the table. And I like seeing that because, if anything, they pass certain proposals that make sense. And it keeps us trending more. That is a good thing in itself. It says, with so many assets currently available on the network, you can head over to XDC ecosystem category on CoinGecko to check them out. I'm glad that they came out with this new column, if you will, on CoinGecko that breaks some of this down. We covered the whole thing about, Comtech Gold. I think that's huge in itself. There's a lot of things that are trending with Comtech Gold. Just in case you're new to this, Comtech Gold token is a stable asset pegged to the price of 1 gram of pure gold, which is fully backed and redeemable for just what? Physical gold. And of course, this is done through XDC's blockchain. really massive. Comtech is registered in the United Arab Emirates and complies with the Sharia principles. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of Sharia law, but teach his own. We go further down in regards to this. They mentioned the whole thing with XSwap. I know some of you guys are really, really gung-ho about it. Let's just talk about that for a brief moment, right, before we kick into comments. So it states, if you're wondering about XSwap, like what they have mentioned here, it gets right to the point, states that XSwap protocol is an automated market maker for XRC20 tokens built on the Zenfin network. XSwap is focused on building the challenger to BSC-based PancakeSwap and Ethereum-based Uniswap. Its primary focus is to empower crypto enthusiasts with secure, fast, and resource-efficient instruments for exchanging digital assets. That in itself sounds really, really impressive, because I remember when I first came into crypto, early 2021 and so on, I was starting to become familiar with PancakeSwap, Uniswap especially, right? Those two really stood out. In the future, I guess you could state, with this whole thing with ISO 222 and so on, if we can get more of some of these particular ones to trend, that is not a bad thing to see. This thing with XSwap. I think if anything, I didn't realize in the past that this really helps it stand out, because that's, I guess you could say, kind of like a third player coming to the table. And let's face it, guys, PancakeSwap, Uniswap, there's probably two of the biggest names in regards to DeFi. You include this XSP thing from XDC, that's big in itself. Let's talk about GBEX real quick. I know you guys are into GBEX. We, of course, covered Stasis Euro a few times. I did deep dives, US plus stablecoin. Let's talk about GBEX real quick. So it says GBEX is a fintech platform with a centralized exchange banking services, payment gateway, stablecoins, a decentralized marketplace. It offers fully regulated services for corporate and retail customers in several countries on 5 continents, integrating crypto solutions into the traditional banking system. That in itself, on the surface, sounds really cool. Of course, as we know, it's very, very cheap to buy. If I'm not mistaken, 6 or 7 zeros in a particular number, you can load up quite a bit on this. You guys have stated, and we've even looked more into this, for at least the last 90 days, has had a nice consistent increase. But yeah, there's a lot of other particular ones built on this. But anyway, I was glad to bring this to you guys because I saw this and it was a nice updated article in regards to XDC. Let's kick it back to the comments. Thank you for being here tonight. Let me see who we have. If there's anybody new, we could definitely welcome them. Please smash that like if you haven't done so already. We're already over 2 hours and 7 minutes into the particular show. We do have some more coverage for you guys. We have LCX. We have some Cypherium, I believe, and we also have some Jasmine and Hedera H-Bar. Anyway, let me go further down. Is Triple C Elon. All right. Look at KAS and A0, 2 of the best coins out there. Cool. Crypto Puppet Max, you and Larry said it was okay to share other YouTubers' channels, right? Just making sure. Yeah, it's fine. Totally fine. Triple C, Jonesy is a great name for a cat. Yeah. Triple C says, my cat's name is Wilson. River says, named from the movie Alien Space Cat Jonesy. Huh. Megan Richardson, Toonsies is the best name for a cat. That name can drive cars. Cool. Yes, that's right. That orange cat. All right. Hello again, Raphael. Like Heathcliff cat. Yeah, I used to watch Heathcliff on Nickelodeon. That was one of my go-to cartoons back in the day when I was a little kid. But here's my thing. I had little irritations about Heathcliff and even Garfield. I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to jump back. This will be real quick. When I was a little kid, when I watched Garfield and Friends in the 80s, it irritated the crap out of me that I had to watch his Friends. I didn't like it. I didn't want to watch his stupid Friends. I just wanted to watch Garfield eat lasagna and talk to his owner and stuff like that. That was the highlight. So I thought the Friends segment was super annoying. Same with Heathcliff. I didn't really like Heathcliff doing all the stuff he did with his friends. I just wanted to be focused on Heathcliff. And also, how about this? Beavis and Butthead. I liked it a lot better when Beavis and Butthead was just them doing like an episode of Beavis and Butthead. like on their adventures or whatever, right? That they're doing. I wasn't too big of a fan of them commenting on music videos, but we all have our irritations, I guess. All right, Cool Cat Crypto. Tunesies is a fine name for a kitty. You want to pet my kitty? All right, let's go further down. XTC might run way up soon. That's the way I look at it. I feel like there's this pressure cooking effect going on. Chilling in the sip tonight, God's country. Nice. XTC is the biggest steal of all the ISOs. I'm with you on that. I've stated that. I feel like as though it's the best bargain. Most undervalued of them all. But yeah, all right, hold on. Let me read this. I can't prove this, but I suspect XTC simply is Ethereum 2.0. Funny how that works with them. All right. We called it Mississippi. XTC is everything Ethereum tried to be. Seems that way. All right, let me see. SEC is the football to watch 8 from the SIP playing in the Super Bowl. All right. Hold on a second. Coochie Boy says you will get to watch quarterbacks from Texas every play. Stevie, everyone will use CHNG Max. Yeah, I saw a little bit in regards to that. Redacted has been reporting about that. Megan Richardson's laughing. Unless Mahomes gets knocked the F out, Cypherium. Yeah, so you gotta get some Cypherium. Heathcliff is the hustler. Garfield is the fat you know what. Yes, I agree with you on that. I'll state this. Every time he had lasagna, it made me hungry for lasagna. And here's another weird thing. The best lasagna I ever had in my life, I know you guys are going to be like, no way. That can't be true. It is true. The best lasagna I ever had in my life came from my school cafeteria growing up as a kid, cooked by the head cafeteria chef or whatever. She, for whatever reason, would make it look a certain way that was kind of like orangey, if you will. So I'm not a big fan of marinara sauce, but she would cook it in a way in which it was kind of like cooked into the lasagna where it wasn't just overly done with red sauce. That's my thing. I don't like a lot of red sauce. So maybe that's why I liked it so much. You love the Catwoman. Yeah, especially Michelle Pfeiffer as the Catwoman in Batman Returns. All right, let's get more into it. Let me go ahead and highlight that. Let's go ahead and kick it into our next news segment. And basically, it's LCX just for a little bit. Here we go. So it states, great to see that LCX already fulfilled the SEC's requirements for staking, like having a prospectus give all info in details and warn us about the risk. On the regulatory side, LCX is front-running everybody. A lot of big players will stop staking while LCX will start to roll it out. And of course, this was posted the other day. We talked a little bit in regards to this. All right. If you missed it, we're going to reiterate just a little bit. Let me see if I can pull that up. And here we go. I'm going to share this tab instead here in just a bit after it loads up. So yesterday, we talked a little bit about this just in case you missed the show. They have this thing they're introducing. It's called EURT7. It's a tokenized bond. And basically, you can earn 7% fixed yield per anno. It says that LCX issues a 10 million euro tokenized bond security prospectus published and endorsed by the regulator, available in the European Economic Area. I get it. All right. Some people feel as though like, well, that sucks for us, Max. I mean, it's great for people in Europe and so on. Yeah, I understand that. But at the same time, I think people will still try to seek these particular avenues. They're going to maybe go through the red tape or take a detour, if you will, right? And try to see about maybe taking advantage of these particular things. Work out deal with a friend or work out a deal with a family member overseas, whatever the case be. Maybe use a VPN. I'm not officially stating that you should do anything like that. But let's face it, people are going to do that, whether I mention it or not. It is newsworthy. They did basically just announce this yesterday, right? And then basically this is going to start on March 1st. Interesting to see that. Anyway, glad to share that with you guys. On top of that, we're going to jump into the H-bar news. So if you're just connecting, here's the H-bar that you're looking for. So H-bar confirmed ISO 222 compliant. Remember it was on that particular list? Well, confirmed that is now compliant. How do we know that? Well, like it says, and we did report on this before, it says Australian Payments Plus, AP Plus, brings together Australia's 3 domestic payment providers, which is BPay Group, POS, and NPP Australia into one integrated entity. Now, there's more in regards to this, and I guess originally maybe BitBoy Crypto reporting on this. This was back on February 7th. I'm going to blow it up just a little bit. Here it is. It's built on Hedera, right? And we'll take you right to there. Give me just a second to pull that up. All right, so here it is, and maybe Crypto Mike took a screenshot of this and shared it. I don't know. But look at this. It says ISO 222 message capabilities. As we know, there's more than just a few capabilities. It says NPP payment messages can support more data, including up to 280 characters of structured or unstructured data. The ISO 222 message scheme captures and transmits this data in a way that can be customized for different payment types. These messaging capabilities present significant opportunities for enhanced business efficiency. And as we know, that's the key thing, right? And it's these particular blockchain technologies are part of this mix, whether it's Ripple, Stellar, Hedera, you name it. It's significant. We know already about, for instance, some of the message usage and so on, right? The transaction reports and whatnot. But this comes straight from this particular site. And if anything, it's nice to see this because you know, if you were to type in, for instance, I guess Hedera, you would basically mention that. I don't have that at the moment, but it was nice to be able to see that Australian Payments Plus is built on specifically Hedera. Combine that with being officially ISO 222 compliant, you could draw your own conclusions. Pretty awesome. All right. Let me get into Cypherium here in a bit. But before we do so, let's kick it back in the comments. Thanks for being here tonight. Max, that was not lasagna. That was pizza. Oh, you're talking about with what? You mean that at the school? No, that was definitely lasagna, my friend. The best. It was because here's the thing. It had what's it called? Regatta. What's it called? The one with the R. Now you got me. Was it ricotta? Ricotta cheese. Had ricotta cheese, and that cheese is so good if it's made right. You love the tater tots. Yeah, me too. The school chimichangas were okay. Selmo says this UFC card tonight is sending it. Well, the undercard. You know, here's the thing. When it comes to fights, I used to watch a lot of boxing back in the day. Every now and then, you would have somebody on the undercard who actually fought a better fight than the main event. So shout out to guys on the undercard. All right. Boomer F is sooner. Shoot, I remember taking my $6 million mail lunchbox to school back in the 70s. Then got badass Dukes of Hazzard lunchbox. Nice. I had G.I. Joes. And I also had He-Man. And then I had, Masters of the Universe, obviously, He-Man. So G.I. Joe's, He-Man. I think I might have had a Voltron. But yeah, back in the 80s. Little kid in the 80s. Russell C. OBOT, pump big today. Microcap in the supply chain management crypto. 0.005 to 2 cents. Still 3 million market cap. All right. Thank you. All right. Coochie Boy says it is a pay-per-view. Selmo FUD. All right. All right. Let's kick it into Cypherium. Thank you for joining us here tonight. We still have roughly 40 beautiful people, as Larry would say, in the audience. So if this is your first time being here, we'd like to of course welcome you. We do have some Cypherium news. Not a lot, but it's better than nothing. Let's jump into that real quick. So it states from this particular guy, it says, hey, Sky Guo Cypherium, who has over 2,000 followers. So this person asked AI about Cypherium working with AI, and it says you guys are doing a project called Cypher AI. Just hear me out. That sounds like a tongue twister. So did this AI just reveal your secret plans? This sounds awesome. Well, it's speculative, right? But if anything, watch what is mentioned here. There's two particular parts. So of course, Chat GPT, right? So this guy asked Chat GPT. Now just hear me out. It is interesting. So it says, write me an in-depth, descriptive, detailed, long explanation with extreme technical details about everything Cypherium is doing with AI. Imagine you're talking to the smartest person in the world. So how about this? Imagine you're talking to Crypto Not Talk Now audience, the smartest people in the whole wide world. All right. Cypherium is a blockchain platform that utilizes, according to ChatGPT, a hybrid consensus mechanism combining both practical Byzantine fault tolerance and a new consensus algorithm called proof of space time. Wow, it kind of sounds like Star Trek, the space-time continuum. Anyway, the PBFT algorithm ensures that the network reaches consensus on the order of transactions, while POST is used to confirm the order of blocks. These two algorithms work together to provide a highly scalable, secure, and adaptable platform for enterprise use cases. One of the key innovators is that Cypherium is working on is the integration of AI into its blockchain platform through a project called, excuse me a second here. Called Cypher AI. Cypher AI is an AI-powered smart contract platform that allows developers to create and execute smart contracts that incorporate AI models, enabling them to make decisions based on data inputs. So they are working on or with some particular AI. Goes on a little bit more about this. The Cypher AI platform is built on top of the Cypherium blockchain and leverages its high scalability and security features. This is achieved by using a parallel chain architecture that allows the parallel processing of transactions. This parallel chain architecture allows for a high throughput of transactions with the ability to handle tens of thousands of transactions per second. That's pretty impressive. In addition to its scalability, the Cypherium blockchain also provides high level of security through its use of combination of PBFT and POST algorithms. The best, or I should say, the PBET algorithm, or PBFT, I should say, ensures that the network reaches consensus. I know this is a lot is verbatim, but just hear me out. On the order of transactions, while POST is used to confirm the order of blocks. This combination of algorithms provides a high level of security. Listen to this, and it ensures that the network is resistant to both Byzantine failures and 51% attacks. Now, I already gathered that particular part of it, right? This is, of course, what makes, in my opinion, Cypherium stand out, because as we know, Solana, used to boast of, certain things that sounded impressive, but they didn't have kind of like a backup plan like Cypherium has, where the blockchain will at least stay online, right? So it says Cypher AI also includes additional features such as data privacy and security and support for the multiple platform languages. The platform uses homomorphic encryption to ensure data privacy and security. Homomorphic encryption allows for computation to be performed on ciphertext without the need to decrypt the data. I know this is some of the technical stuff. Listen, this means that data can be processed and analyzed while still maintaining its privacy and security. Now it goes on more and more, but here's the last part of it, right? Talks about Java, Python. It says this allows developers to use programming language they are most comfortable with, making it easier for them to create and execute smart contracts on the Cypher AI platform. My key takeaway is this: if you're making anything easy for developers to come into and use your particular blockchain, or how about this, like Quant, the overledger, right? That is a good thing. It helps build up the ecosystem. Look out for Cypherium to do big things, let's face it, in regards to building up the ecosystem. That is the main key takeaway. And apparently, even ChatGPT has recognized that, appreciates it, gets the info out there. And of course, there's a whole thing about part 2 in regards to all this and so on. I don't want to get into all the nitty-gritty detail about it and so on, but it's interesting to see that even the likes of ChatGPT recognize how big Cypherium is. Anyway, wanted to bring that to you guys. Let's kick it back to the comments for a brief bit. After this, we have some info in regards to Jasmy. Let's go ahead and get into that. Let's go down. We got Salamander in space. He states he wonders if they will show crypto commercials on the Super Bowl. I guess I asked that yesterday, and apparently not. That's supposed to be banned. Cypherium is the gateway to the digital yuan. Word is no crypto commercials will be shown, but there will be a football game at the concert. All right. Please smash that like button. Thank you very much. There will be 2 15-minute games before and after the 13-minute concert. Okay. All right, so let's jump into the next part that we have for you guys. We did talk a little bit about Hedera earlier, but not really newsworthy. It's just more like the price and what's going on with Hedera's H-bar. This will wrap things up for the night here in a bit, and it's basically Jasmy. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. So here it is. And it states, Jasmy reposts. I am here to remind you that Hokkaido Ballpark, listen to this, as we know, before I jump more into this, in Japan, right, if you've been following, a lot of this, in Japan since like the 80s, 90s, and so on, baseball is their #1 sport. So there's something to be said about that. So here to remind you that Hokkaido Ballpark opens March 14, 2023, right? A month after the real true bull run, February 14th, 2023 at 5 p.m. Eastern time, according to Larry. Anyway, remember the TISIWIT system is a mega venue intelligent management system to ensure personal information security based on Jasmy's original blockchain technology. Yes, let's listen to this. So it states in this particular questioning session, the user asks, can you tell us about the progress of Jasmy's experiments in Hokkaido? The guest replies, in Hokkaido, I guess that's how you pronounce it, a special government department has been established to carry out road testing. There are people who actually ride before the snowy day, which is very convenient. Advertisements can be posted in the car and in conjunction with the completion of a new baseball stadium in 2023 and is currently progressing smoothly. At present, it is advancing with Apple. Yeah, Apple. And I believe that an agreement will be reached in the near future. Pretty interesting to say the least. But we need to, of course, provide you a link in regards to Apple. But last time around, let's face it, when I think Larry did a show, maybe it was last weekend, I presented him some particular info in regards to the whole partnership with Toyota. He didn't have the verifying article, right, to back that up. Yesterday, I believe, or the day before, I can't remember, we did verify that was actually true. We'll do a follow-up in regards to this whole thing with Apple, maybe by tomorrow if we happen to get the news. But I think that's really, really interesting. Combine that with all of the other things in regards to Jasmy with autonomous vehicles and data, I think it's really, really big. I think there's something to be said about Jasmy. I mean, it's the whole thing of collecting data, this whole thing of the unbanning of stable coins, right? Like some people just want to look at the particular price being so darn low, maybe complain about it. I'm not complaining about it right now. The way I look at it, this is an accumulation phase. And if anything, there's a lot of things that are in a particular accumulation phase. There's ones in which we feel as though, or at least I feel as though, we're running out of time on XTC, definitely, like we just mentioning. Could Jasmy also be part of that particular mix of ones that are so distressed that we're running out of time? Well, if anything, I think we are. And what I mean by that, I think that this particular outline of what we have here is anywhere from now until June. And the reason why I state that, of course, is because the unbanning of these particular stable coins. If you have a whole country that is going to have access to be able to buy in pairings, Jasmy/USDT, Jasmy/USDC, so on and so forth, that is a huge influx of volume. You should see a significant amount of price action on the upside. That just makes sense. So yeah, guys, I really feel as though that this is just one example of many, like we just mentioned, XDC and so on. This utility run coming up in the future, this, the near future, is going to be huge. But anyway, I want to kick it back into the comments. So far, it's been a really awesome show. Glad to be able to do it for you guys. Going to read a few more comments. Coochie Boy says, Max, I bought the dip on Bonk. Tongue twister. Did I do good? I don't know. I'm not, that Bonk is not on my radar. I know that somebody did, some of you guys did amazing, right? So what was it, like over 2,000% at one point? Maybe you did. I mean, let me know. Like, am I missing out on something? Like, am I turning a blind eye on Bonk? I don't know. But my thing is, there's still a few I definitely want to get into. LCX, Casper, Cypherium. I think those are my top 3 for what's left of what I need to get into. And so that's just the way I look at it. But did you get a significant amount in which, like, did you look at the supply or look at, for instance, the current price you came in and you're like, well, I need to buy this amount. And if it did, like, for instance, a 10x, I'm just throwing an example. This is how I look at certain ones. It does a 10x or removes a 0. This is what I could yield back. I always do those particular examples. But anyway, oh, you watched the pay-per-view. Okay, cool. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Been a great show. I still see that we have 40 people here, even 2.5 hours in. Really do appreciate it. Happy Super Bowl Sunday in advance to each and every one of you. I don't know if I will be watching the Super Bowl. Actually, I won't be able to watch the Super Bowl. I don't have my TV even hooked up to regular TV to watch it, if you can imagine that. Unless there's a way I could just watch it on the internet, maybe. But at the same time, I'm more of an NBA guy / boxing guy anyway. So shout out to, if your team is in the Super Bowl, right? Kansas City or the Philadelphia Eagles. I know that's going to be a competitive game. I don't think it'll be a boring one. Maybe I'll try to catch it, part of it. I'll just watch highlights. I don't know. But yeah, we'll be back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific to bring you guys some more of the news in regards to crypto, mainly the ISOs and so on. But yeah, you two have a great night. Take care. We will see you guys tomorrow. And thanks for tuning in for Crypto Talk Now. Over and out, everybody. Have a good night.